Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Please accept whatever suits your time zone, but more importantly, blue morning to you because it is the Blue Morning Show. We all hoped that the Chelsea, the boys in blue, will get a win for us because it's been quite quite some difficult period for all Chelsea supporters all around the world. Unfortunately for us, the boys could not get us a win. We're all heartbroken, I know, but we'll talk more about it, what we think the problem was, who did badly, and who did their best to help us get a win. Let's get into it. Yes, people, welcome back to the Blue Morning Show. I hope you all are doing well. More importantly, blue morning to you all. Again, it was a disappointing evening for us all because we had hoped that our boys will help us get a win. Unfortunately for us, that did not happen for some reason, but we'll try to talk about it. We will analyze the game, talk about what we think caused the problems we had yesterday, but overall, we move, and there's still hope. It is a 3-1 home loss, and like I've seen here from what's his name, boy. He says Chelsea better away than at home at the moment. Let's hope that's the case. Let's hope when we go to the Bernabeu next week, we will get a win. But we need with 2 goals, it will be 3-all. But we need to beat them 3-0 to go through to the next round. But let's get into it. But first, I want to say thank you to my brother and fellow content creator Fahim for finding time to join me on the panel. I wasn't sure who I was going to present the show with today. Thank you, brother. How you doing, Fahim?
Yeah, coach. I just feel deflated, to be honest, after that loss. Not doing too good about it, but we have to move on from it anyway.
Yeah, we have to move on, and it's a difficult one to take, given that we all wanted a win. A win would have, made a difference, a world of difference in the life of every Chelsea supporter. But unfortunately, that did not happen. Before we start talking about Mendy's mistakes, because it's beginning to look like he's error prone, if you want to put it that way. What do you think went wrong for us, Fahim?
You know what? I think the players look completely tired. They just didn't seem to be focusing the game. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, Thiago Silva making mistakes, not just Christensen or Jorginho Kante. Even Thiago Silva, our main guy in defense, was making mistakes. He didn't look up for it either. And when he's not
Hmm.
looking up for the game, then I feel like everyone just collapses. I don't know why. For me, I think that's where we lost the game. The players didn't focus, mentally tired. Mendy even looked mentally unfocused as well with that pass. So I think it's something to do with that. I don't think it's the lineup. To be honest, I think if you were to make, well, what more can we do with the lineup? Like, I think that
Yeah,
was
again,
possibly our strongest lineup.
hmm again, the lineup wasn't perfect, but the truth is, we cannot argue that the lineup was the problem. I think everything was wrong. They seemed, it doesn't look like they were, like you said, they were mentally
Hmm.
absent because how 2 crosses and he got 2 headed goals, and we had 2 defenders, close to him, and then especially I think the first goal, no, the second goal, that shouldn't happen. But Thiago Silva and Andres Christensen were both ball watching. That
Yeah.
really surprised me. That's unlike Thiago Silva, but it looks like Madrid. It was a strategy they had in mind, because
Yeah.
even the second goal, Modric didn't even look up. He just put it into the box there. And Carlo Ancelotti has worked with Thiago Silva before. It was as if he knew that he has some deficiencies in terms of defending corner kicks. What do you think? Do you think that's the case? Because if you ask me, I'd argue that's probably the case, because I've had Matt J. Blige here on the show, that is on Thiago Silva's profile video. He argued that Thiago Silva's one of his weaknesses is he doesn't really that is a defender. That is the ball's properly when it's on the air. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Thiago Silva is not the tallest of centre back. He's like, is this noise coming from my side? I'm not sure.
You hearing any noise?
Yeah.
Like, okay, is this still happening?
No, it's fine now. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, it was probably me pouring coffee, but go ahead.
Yeah, Thiago Silva is not the tallest of centre backs. He's like 6 foot, 6 foot something. No, I think he's just 6 foot. But he relied on his jumping in the early days. Is it me? I'm not sure. I
mean, that was seriously that primary school defending, or if you like, disappointed defending from all our defenders. Even Rudiger wasn't at his best yesterday. I could not believe what happened. Let me just add the link to the panel in the chat so that whoever has time to join can join us.
Coach, I think there's some noise. I don't know.
Let me check if it's coming from my end. I think probably that usually happens whenever I have my microphone at the other end adapter plugged in. So let me check again, please. Sorry about that. Is it hash that bad?
It's like static.
Yeah, static. Then it's the one plugged in. That's what's causing it. It probably has this stopped now.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. You were saying something.
Yeah, like Thiago Silva, I mean, back in his early days, he relied on his good jumping, his good leap. Right now, he's at the age of 37. Maybe he's not the greatest at jumping, and he's not the tallest. So yeah, that's probably one of his weaknesses in terms of winning headers in the air. And yeah, you know what? Yesterday, he got caught napping for it was a second goal where Benzema directed.
I think it was the second goal. I think Benzema was. I think he took the header between him and Andreas Christensen, and that was surprising to me. He was just looking at the ball. I don't know if he wasn't able to jump. Even Andreas Christensen also was ball watching. So that's it's crazy. I think we were poor in every department, but in the second half we got better. But then again, let's just break the performances down one by one. But quickly, let me look at the chart. DJ Saab says, good morning, everyone. Big up, Trust Perspective. Big up to you, to my brother. I hope you're doing well, and blue morning to you. And this is Olupol. Good morning. Oh, blue morning to you, Olupol, and nice to see you again joining here. And then Deals CFC, the players need rest. We didn't look up for it, but I think we've had a rest. I don't think that's the case. But maybe, what are your thoughts? Do you think that's the case for him?
You know what? I think since a lot of these some of these important players came back from international duty, I feel like Mendy came back from international duty. Jorginho also came back from international duty, and we can't rely on our fringe players as well. So there's more reliance on our first team players to keep on playing games, and I think we're one of the teams in Europe that have played the most games out of everyone. I don't know the stat, but we're like up there with.
No, I think you're correct, because even the commentator did say it yesterday.
Yeah, so it's crazy, and the upcoming future we've got like with almost on average 3 games per week or 2-3 games per week. It's a bit ridiculous right now.
It is seriously ridiculous. DJ, I want to welcome you to the panel, and I'll come to you in a bit. How are you doing, brother?
Yeah, good morning, guys. How are you both? You all good?
Yeah, I can't complain. And if you're on the panel, if you want to jump in anytime, you can do so. Deals, you seem to be making excuses for our players. You're saying the players need a rest. We didn't look up for it. Why I don't understand. Can you explain?
The reason why I've been saying this, is because I've seen, from international break right? Before the international break, we was playing better before the international break. Ever since the international breaks come back, yeah, we've been playing poor, right? So for us right now, I think a couple of our players need rest for Southampton.
I think you may have to reset your connection because we can barely hear what you're saying. It's your audio is breaking up.
Okay.
Yeah. So DJ, coming to you, your thoughts on the game. Do you think it's because of the international break? I'd say no, it wasn't, because we've played a game. That's the game that you could make that excuse was the game against Brentford. But after that, we've had a few days, and we've actually had 2 days or 3 days before the Brentford game. Your thoughts, DJ?
Yeah, I was at both the games, Brentford and Real Madrid's match yesterday. Obviously, seeing Chelsea concede 7 goals is very unlike us. I think I can probably say yes. After coming back from the international break, the players did look jaded for the Brentford match. You could see it in the way they performed. I think also, obviously going to a back four didn't help in that game. But as for yesterday's match, again, it was more to the fact that I'd say we probably done, again, I won't call them mistakes, but when you've got someone like Vinicius Junior up against someone like Christensen in your defence, you just know who's going to come out on top. And Vinicius completely ran Christensen to the ground yesterday. The guy completely cooked him in every way he possibly could, and he was having a fun time out there. They could have scored 4 goals had Benzema other goal connected as well. You could have had 4 goals, but look, in terms of the match in itself, our players do look tired. They're very unlike mistakes that you see a Chelsea teammate, and people will blame Thiago Silva for 2 of the goals Benzema scored. What I want people to understand is he had to go and help out his teammate Christensen at some point to run at them just to mark up Vinicius, and that's what left space in the middle for Benzema to score his first goal. The second goal, you could probably say, yeah, he could have probably jumped up with him, maybe gone up a bit more, and maybe cleared the ball. But Benzema's header was such a good header. I don't think any goalkeeper in the world would have saved that goal, to be honest with you. He was just on another level yesterday, Benzema was. Obviously, we came back with fight. Obviously, Kai Havertz scored that goal at the end with that header. And then you're thinking to yourself, okay, not the greatest of first halves. The fans are all behind you. Blue flags are flying, because obviously Thomas Tuchel did say before the match that he thought he needed a reaction from the fans because he thought it was quite quiet against Brentford on Saturday, which I have to agree it was. Obviously, because a protest took place as well, I understand, before the match anyway. So it was a bit of a quiet atmosphere.
But the fans did their job.
We did our job, yes, we did. But then then also at the same time, even see how I look at things. Maybe I look at things in a different perspective, point of view, Coachella. And I always believe if your players if you're losing a goal, and the players need your support more than anything in the world. By going quiet after conceding, like some of our fans did do yesterday, didn't help the players. And whatever people want to say, everything that comes from the fans reflects on the players who play in the game, and they reflect on the fans' energy as well. They go out there and they perform. I'm not going to make excuses for us yesterday because I thought we were diabolical yesterday. I thought we made too many mistakes in the game again. We were too wide open in the midfield. You never see Kante. If you look at the game last year when we played Real Madrid, we were never this open as we were yesterday, and it just allowed Real Madrid to take advantage of that. But look, it's one of those games, are we still in the game? I know Thomas Tuchel came out after the press conference in his post-match and said, no, we're out of it now. I, for one, think he's just using a bit of psychology on the players, because he wants them to start picking themselves up. And we need to pick ourselves up, guys. We're playing Southampton on Saturday. That is a vital game now. We need to win that game. And the confidence then needs to go against Real Madrid on Saturday. If we can shut the crowd down for the first 20 minutes on Tuesday against Real Madrid and score, I still think we've got a slight chance in that game. It's very unlikely, but if we can score early, I don't see why we can't go and get something out of that game. I saw my club do it back in 2012. Okay, different perspective. When we won the Champions League, we were 3-1 down to Napoli.
But do we have that character in this team?
I do believe the character is there. Look how many games we were winning before the international break. Okay, people will turn around and say some of them may have been lucky wins. We were not at our best, but we were still grinding out results.
DJ, can I ask this question? Under Thomas Tuchel, Is there a time we've been 3-1 down and we came back to overcome?
Sorry?
Is there a time
Yeah.
under Thomas Tuchel we've been in such a similar situation, even if it's not two leg tie, that we were like 3 goals down and we came back to win it?
No, I
Has
don't
there
think
been a time?
I don't think we've been in that situation under Thomas Tuchel, as far as I know. Maybe someone might be able to remind me in the comment section, but I don't think we have come across that before. Yes, I can understand where you're going with this. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we haven't been in that situation, but this is where the players need to show their mentality and the steel of what they've got. I mean, look, what people got to remember, and the players have got to remind themselves, we are holders of this trophy currently. You can't just go and give up the trophy because we're 3-1 down. That's it. Game over. We finished. We're holders of this trophy at the moment. Okay. And we have to go out the Bernabeu on Tuesday and give everything we got. And the fans, whatever fans, I don't know if fans have got a chance to go down traveling there. I don't know. They really need whatever minority crowd that we've got going down there. They need to try and up the crowd a little bit. They need to up the plays a little bit. Yeah, it's going to be all about Real Madrid. But if we can get behind their plays and like Ola Pula saying here, he's right. Liverpool, City, and Madrid. Yeah, they could be. They're probably tired as well. But I think we've had the most players that went out on international duty than anyone else in the Prem. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong there. Maybe Manchester City may be able to say, and Liverpool. But I think we've had more than them going out. And then what's going to happen is Thomas Tuchel's gone and played them against Brentford on Saturday. Okay, and clearly and playing them in the back four, which again was probably not the kind of experiment you want to be doing when the players have all come back from international duty and played a back four, where it clearly we saw did not work. So look, I'm not making up excuses here. We deserved to lose yesterday. Up, everything to Real Madrid. They deserved their win yesterday. They outplayed.
They could have scored even more goals.
They could have Benzema could have had 4 goals on the night. If Vinicius Junior's shot didn't hit the bar, it would have been probably 5. We could be talking about maybe. And if Chelsea took then we're talking about if Chelsea took their chances, the game could have probably been 5-3 on the night. If we had taken our chances, not forgetting two of Lukaku's headers that should have been in the back of the net. I don't know what he was doing with both of those two. Okay, he should have scored as well. And when he came on, so look, it's one of those situations. Had that mistake not happened as well after. I mean, as I said, we got the goal before half time. You're gearing up the plays for the second half, and then all of a sudden you go and see a mistake by Mendy, which is very Mendy unlike.
Yeah, I think we will come to that. And DJ, yeah. I'm not gonna. I love you, brother, but I'm not gonna allow you today to argue that mistake was very Mendy unlike. We've been actually quite lucky with Mendy between the sticks. Mendy is averaging 1 serious mistake per game. It's just we've been lucky. Some of them hasn't led to goals. But go ahead, brother.
Agreed. No, I agree, because he did the same thing against Brentford on Saturday, where he just passed the ball to Ivan Toney, and if Toney only didn't just shoot, he'd have probably scored that goal. But look, he's done that. I get that. It was a mistake. He should have kicked it to Rosette, but he didn't do that. Yeah. But look, at the end of the day, it was a mistake. I mean, by that time, it killed the whole game. The players just looked jaded. The players just looked completely out. I mean, you feel for the players after that, but they still went out. I think the only player I can say that really went out there yesterday and really showed grit and determination was our goal scorer, Kai Havertz. I thought the guy was full of energy yesterday.
He was magnificent. He pressed quite well. Brilliant. And here's something else I've learned about his game that makes me happy. He's improved in terms of physical aspect of the game. He's no pushover like when he first arrived. Go ahead, brother.
No, 100% he isn't. And I'm still seeing a lot of some fans out there criticizing him, and I don't understand why they're doing that. We've got one of the best young generation talent players around. People are saying to him he's not world class. He might not be world class yet, but he is in that class category because it was him who won us the Champions League. Yeah, and people have got to look at that as a situation. Maybe not world class, but he did win us the Champions League. All right, and I call that class, a young generation class player. That's what he is. And and he's now starting to improve himself. He's starting to get a bit more around. As I said, when they first come over from Germany, it takes that bedding time. Like Timo Werner, there's no excuse on Timo Werner, where the guy just can't seem to hit a goal with anything at this moment in time. Mm-hmm. But Kai Havertz has improved, and you'll see the only best of Kai Havertz going forward. And I really hope we do keep this guy around for the next.
He is the future. He is the future
for us. I think we've got him for another 3 more years. I think he signed a 5-year contract when he joined us. So we need to make sure he stays around, despite all this stuff that's going around with our football club and owners. He is the one player along with our manager, that we must make sure we keep around the football club, because, as I said, he's going to be our future for the going forward, at least for the next 3 or 4 or 5 years, whatever time he may stay on at Chelsea for until.
Fahim, any input before I go to the chat?
I mean, what else can I say? I think DJ said
You still sound you still sound like that is the whole thing is still affecting you.
Yeah, like I was mad yesterday, to be honest. I'm just deflated this morning, to be honest. So I just don't know what to expect from the next game against Southampton, because Southampton, we know, like they do play like quite Brentford, like they press high, they want to always counter attack, and that's my worry. We do struggle against Southampton, and Tuchel just doesn't seem confident right now. I don't know. I actually don't know.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm still pissed, if I'm allowed to put it that way. But let me quickly breeze us through the chat. So let's see if we have anything to address that. And DJ, I appreciate you recognizing, looking at the comment from Olupo on the screen, and you addressed it. Yeah. It's important. That comment makes sense. Yeah, we could argue about them being tired. What about Liverpool clubs like City and others? Yeah, they have even Real Madrid also, their players are all internationals.
Yeah.
Nearly, probably you could argue nearly all of them traveled. So it's the same. And they had to actually travel to Stamford Bridge also. So something else wasn't right. But we'll get to that in a bit. Let me quickly breeze through the chat, and then we'll come back to this again. This is Deals CFC, who joined us on the panel, but he had issues with his audio. It wouldn't surprise me come the second Real Madrid will set up to pack the bus. Carlo Ancelotti wouldn't necessarily do that, but he's a master tactician. He would disguise his defensive approach in a way. Even they were defensive yesterday. When they were defensive. But the difference is that when they take the ball from you, they're so confident they're so good on the ball that they can play out from the back where they got the ball from you. But if they see the slightest of spaces they find, they counter with a blistering pace, and they did that on occasion, but we were just lucky, So they were defensive yesterday. It's just that Carlo is so good at it, the way that is, and their players individually, they're good on the ball, that you won't even know they were defensive, because if they get the ball, they can play out from the back without even panicking one bit. But that's why I'll come back to that. I am surprised seeing Christensen start. I'm very surprised too. I think Chalobah should take his place, since he's already, he's gone practically. You could argue that he's already joined Barcelona. Yeah,
Coach.
Sorry.
Like people, I've seen a lot of people like criticize Chalobah for making mistakes. Like this Christensen, he's been doing this for years now. The guy's 25.
Yeah,
he's 25, and Chalobah, debut season at Chelsea. It's only made a few mistakes in recent games, but at the start of the season he was very consistent, and we were talking about, okay, maybe he can start most of these games. Christensen has been doing this for years. It's not the first time. He's only had few good months at Chelsea and his international team, and then right now, whenever his head is not focused, he looks all over the place.
To be honest with you, to be honest with you guys, what I will say is, in terms of, and I'm not taking up Christian, because obviously I know he's going, and when a player doesn't want to play for the club anymore and they're all ready to leave, I just say good riddance and bye bye, good luck in your next future. But yesterday, I have to say, I was a bit surprised to see him up against Vinicius Junior yesterday, knowing this guy's got the pace and what he can do to you. And if anybody obviously you all watched the game, you saw how he punished him big time on several occasions yesterday, and that's how they got their 2 goals. To be honest with you, I mean, no, the first goal, he could have been more. That's why a few times Thiago Silva had to come out and help him on that side, and it left the spaces at the back, because obviously you got Rudiger covering the other side. But then what should have happened is Jorginho should have come back, but Jorginho doesn't show that, that defensive side of it. Should have come back to help out, but he didn't, and he just allowed Benzema that free header in the box. Had Silva, I think, been on him, I don't think he scored. I don't think he scores that goal. To be honest with you,
you know what I think? I think our press was just so disorganized. I think some players were up for the press.
Yep. Go ahead.
Some players were up for the press. and then there were some players that were not even pressing at all. And that's what
Yeah.
led us to concede the first goal, because Reece James was pushed up way too high up the pitch. That means there was something going on with our pressing yesterday. And
Yeah, our pressing it wasn't strategic at all, because there are times that you thought would cover all the passing lane for Thibaut Courtois, but we didn't. So it wasn't. I don't know what changed. This was, if you remember when Tuchel first arrived, our pressing was very, very aggressive. It was strategic. If you waste 2 seconds on the ball, you'd have 2 or 3 Chelsea players on you. But of late, that's not happening. And yesterday, I think, had we pressed the way we used to press, I think Thibaut Courtois could have made mistake 4 or 5 times. But
yeah,
I think
even
our
Eder
players,
Militao.
go ahead.
Even Eder Militao, we pressed Eder Militao and he got a yellow card from it
Mhm.
because he tackled Kai Havertz. I think, you know what? We were outnumbered in midfield as well. I think Mason Mount, I don't think he pressed well either. I think he was
he
pressing a
wasn't
bit
great.
too high, where
Yeah.
he should be in midfield.
No, he wasn't that great yesterday. I'll be honest with you guys. I mean, if you think about it, this is the same midfield that we played last season when we played him in the Champions League. The only thing I'd say is Thomas Tuchel should have gone with that same midfield that we played last season. What we played, and I don't think, and because what we saw with Kante when he was there last year, he was pressing them back all the time. They were not even getting a chance to even come out of that midfield. If you guys remember last season, yeah. This time round, I don't know what went wrong with it. I don't know whether Kante's tired. That's probably why I substituted him at half time. Obviously Jorginho. Again another one. I don't know what the answers were, because obviously he took Christensen and obviously took Kante off at half time because he knew obviously Christensen was being cooked on that side by Vinicius Junior. All right, and obviously Kante, I don't know, Kante wasn't Kante yesterday again, and again I don't know if that's down to fatigue and tiredness, that could have kicked in yesterday. I don't know. Again, it's not excuses. Okay, we should have played better than what we did yesterday, but unfortunately we came across a really good team that taught us a good lesson yesterday.
Here's the thing, DJ.
Yeah.
I know Zinedine Zidane won 3 Champions League trophies in a row, right?
Yeah.
Right? It was 3 in a row. He did that, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Okay. Yeah. Here's the difference. It is still the same midfield, but tactically, I know Carlo Ancelotti hasn't done that, but he's a better manager from a tactical perspective than Zinedine Zidane. And under Carlo Ancelotti, Madrid defend as a unit. There's something different about them. Under Carlo Ancelotti, they play that midfield. They play differently. And Carlo Ancelotti, from his AC Milan days, he knows how to get the best out of, even if the player is 50 years old. If you follow his approach, you know that. So look at Modric playing like he's still 22. But people thought he was done under Zinedine Zidane. So Carlo Ancelotti, even during the pre-game show here, we talked about it. That Real Madrid are a different animal under Carlo Ancelotti. They defend as a unit. They defend better under Carlo Ancelotti. And we saw that yesterday, because we found it difficult to break them down, But I still do think what's his name? Had Hakim Ziyech been on the pitch, I think would have done better in terms of breaking them down. And if you sit deep too much, if he gets the slightest of spaces he gets, he will have a go at your post. And at least you can say 6 times out of 10, he will hit the target. But that's, by the way, let me go quickly through the chat, and we'll start breaking things down by talking about Edouard Mendy. And I know DJ probably will start defending him. Maybe this is a case that DJ is not going to win. I can guarantee you that. Yeah. So now let's look at this. I said, what do you think Real Madrid weakness are? Real Madrid are going to come up, pack the bus, but under Carlo, they will pack the bus, but it's always a strategic move. It's not that you're too good. They will get the ball, play from the back, and quickly counter you in a manner that you're not going to even be able to recover. It happened on occasions yesterday. We were just lucky. Maybe the only person that had his shooting boots on was Karim Benzema, or if that it could have been 6 or 5.
God, yeah, that was scary.
Yeah.
Could
Tuchel said we'll get hammered in Bernabeu. That's why, mathematically, it's still possible that we could beat them 3-0 and then progress. It's a possibility, but the fact remains at the Bernabeu, it's going to be very difficult. Is it possible? Yes, it's still very possible, and I hope we would overcome that. But let's see what happens. Hit the like button, people. Says Tobago. Yes, thank you for saying that. And is there anything else to address here, or let's go into talking about Edouard Mendy? We've never been in this situation with Tuchel. We need to play with fight come Tuesday. Yep, I think that's what we talked about before, DJ. We've never found ourselves in a similar situation under Thomas Tuchel. To be sure, okay, that these players, we've overcome such a situation before, so they're going to do it again. But this is the fourth time. Maybe I hope Tuchel finds a way to surprise them. I think he's done it before with PSG, right? Has he? I think he did it against Real Madrid before with PSG. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm not sure.
Okay, or was it Madrid that did it against them, or Barcelona that did it? I don't remember the case, but that's, by the way, we like a cutting edge. We do, yes, especially in the absence of Hakim Ziyech. We didn't create so many clear-cut chances until he came on. Thiago Silva and Kane and Kante need a rest against. I don't think that's the case. If you rest them, they will surely deal with us severely. Let's say we'll get to Lukaku one by one. We'll get to all these points one by one. And I'm highlighting your comments. Don't feel like skipping them. No, I am not. And Sal, nice to see you again today. How are you doing, brother? I hope you are doing well. What do you think we should do come Tuesday? Your thoughts, DJ? You want to take that? Fahim, you go ahead. It looks like DJ has gone out.
To be honest, right, I don't know what else we can do because one thing I worry about is our attack. We're not really potent in front of goal. We don't score enough goals, and that's my worry. When you're 3-1 down in aggregate, we need someone to come up with moments. Kai Havertz definitely should be a starter. I think it's obvious that Kovacic has to start as well. So I would definitely start them too. The rest of the players, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, your thoughts, DJ, on this comment on the screen. I think I've misplaced the comment. The question was, okay, yes, I think it's this one here. It says, what do you think we should do come Tuesday? You there, DJ? Can you hear me? Okay, I think DJ, we cannot hear you. If you can hear me, please know that we cannot hear you. So, Fahim, let's start from dissecting the whole thing that happened from our number one man, which is Edouard Mendy. Fahim, what do you think? Because it's become a constant issue. It's not the first time it's happened. In nearly every, I think from the past 6-7 games that Mendy has played for us, there's hardly one that he hasn't made us a mistake that could possibly lead to a goal. But we were lucky in some cases, either the opposition player misfires or our defender saves Mendy. Your thoughts?
Yeah, he's been making these mistakes ever since I think it was the West Ham game, if I'm not mistaken.
Ever since the West Ham game.
Yeah, and then since then his distribution is what makes the mistakes. For example, like his kicking is way too short. I don't understand that. And then his passing out from the back, he can get exposed by his weight of pass. Some of his weight of passes are just so weak. Like there's no direction, there's not enough power into it. And then we saw that against Brentford where he got the ball. I know Alonso misplaced his pass as well, but Mendy had Rudiger on his left. I don't know how he completely missed Rudiger with that pass. And then yesterday, the exact same happened. He didn't even put enough weight of pass to Rudiger. Then Benzema got advantage and scores the goal from that. And then I think we are lucky that he's not done this. He's not been exposed like this game by game, because he's been doing this pretty much almost every game now. It's not the first time.
Yep.
Been doing this almost every game, and I don't know. I really don't know what's going on with him, because before these all mistakes were coming up, his distribution wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as this. Like, it was all right. It was decent. Not the best, but decent. So we accepted it. Right now, it looks horrible. Right now, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it does look horrible. And if you're in the chat, don't feel like I am skipping your comments. I am highlighting the comments, and I will come to them one by one. But I'll be taking relevant comments that are relevant to the point that we're talking about right now. And let me see this one from Just Viola. The Queen Tom Overend called coming back in Bernabeu a baptism under fire and water for Tuchel. Possibly that could be the case, because we'll be looking to score goals, and their attackers, Real Madrid attackers, are more potent, efficient, or however you want to phrase it, than our attackers. So because we're going to be all out trying to score goals, if they get the chances, 10, you can say 8 times out of 10 they will score goals. Now we're still on Mendy. We're still talking about Mendy. So I want us to look at this comment on the screen. It says, I understand no one is perfect, but to be that shocking at controlling the ball with your feet is shocking. We cannot even drop him because the alternative is Kepa. Here's the thing. I think we underrate Kepa so much that it's not funny. And there's something that we seem to forget. Under Thomas Tuchel, Kepa actually, in terms of goals conceded, has actually been one of our best goalkeeper, has been the best we have. But for some reason, we seem to disrespect Kepa so much that even when he gets a chance, that I think he'd feel when he gets a chance to start, I think if I were Kepa, I'd feel like, okay, I'm only important. And he only gets the chance to start when Mendy is injured, or when it's a cup game, or when Mendy has traveled for an international assignment and he's available. So that to me isn't good. That means we're treating him like he's a backup goalkeeper. I think he's not. There are some aspects of the goalkeeping goalkeeping that he is better than Mendy. Believe me, with his feet, he's 100. You could say he's 10 times better than Edouard Mendy. Edouard Mendy case, in terms of the mistake he's made with his feet, isn't really about him not being good on the ball. It is. You could argue lapses in concentration, or sometimes I just can't not explain it. And like Fahim has talked about, he's been that shocking since the West Ham game that he made 2 costly mistakes, and there's hardly a game that you can look at from that point till now that Mendy hasn't made a serious mistake. In some of them, we were just lucky that opponent defenders didn't take their chances. And I want to show you how serious this has become, because once you make this mistake, people see it. Except if the person lives under the rock, even the least experienced football follower, they see those things. So I'm going to go to Facebook where I shared this. Just look at it, and I'm going to read the comments there to show you that people are actually paying attention. And believe me, to my perspective, I'd argue that under Thomas Tuchel, that actually Kepa Arrizabalaga has been a best goalkeeper, and numbers don't lie. For him, I want to get your thoughts on that argument.
I mean, I think you explained about Mendy's flaw. Sometimes he has this lapse of concentration where when he has the ball to his feet, he just seems to overthink almost. Like, he needs to just keep it simple. I think Kepa is better at that, keeping it simple sometimes. But for me, I think when people are mentioning Kepa should have started, I mean, really, against Real Madrid, I don't know. I don't know, because maybe against Brentford I can understand, because Mendy, I think, is mentally tired right now, because what I saw yesterday, he just looked completely lost. I don't know why. He looks completely lost, and happened against Brentford. Maybe he's coming back from international duty. Everything is going on around his head. I think Kepa probably could have started the Brentford game, but Mendy, I don't understand the argument about Kepa starting from now on. Like, you don't really rotate too much. You don't really rotate your keeper that often. Mendy's
do you think it is complacency? No, I wouldn't say complacency. I think it's because lack of competition, if you like. And he has a super He has a good goalkeeper. We have two world-class goalkeepers, and Kepa provides good competition for Mendy. But because Kepa has been disrespected, for the fact that Kepa played for us and played well to the Carabao Cup final, and he dropped to the bench because it's a final. Kepa played the Club World Cup to the final, and it made some magnificent saves in the semifinals to make sure we made it to the final. And the moment Edouard Mendy came back from AFCON, he took his place. That isn't good. That, if you ask me, probably makes him. He doesn't work for it. He doesn't work for his place. For him to have displaced Kepa Arrizabalaga in the Carabao Cup and be the goalkeeper for the Carabao Cup final against Liverpool. Yeah, exactly.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I seen last season Alisson make, if not worse, mistakes. And Liverpool don't really rotate keepers that often. I understand, like, we have a better second choice keeper, but I mean, Alisson last season constantly made similar mistakes, especially the one against Man City where he made 3 mistakes in one game. So I think with Mendy, he looks mentally tired. I don't know why. I think he looks mentally tired.
But can you be honest here for him? I love you, but I'm not going to let you win this one. Mendy's, in case of Alisson, he makes mistakes in one game, but before he makes another one, it will be like 10, 11 games. Right? But in the case of Mendy, since the West Ham game, it's been one mistake after the other, one mistake after the other. Like we've established here, we've just been lucky that the opponents hasn't been taking the chances. What you have to say to that? So I don't agree comparing him to Alisson Becker, because Alisson has been better, and he doesn't make, and his mistakes usually his mistakes has not been constant. Before he makes another one, you probably have forgotten the one he makes. But check every game Mendy has played since the West Ham game. It's been one mistake after the other, and like we've established here, we've just been lucky. Do you have anything to say that for him, since you're comparing him to Alisson?
No, I'm just saying, like, last season, Alisson was pretty much very similar to what Mendy is going through right now. Like, he was making mistakes consistently as well. But I'm just saying, like, yeah, we were lucky. We are lucky that that we didn't get punished enough from Mendy's mistakes. But at the same time, I don't think the right thing is to just drop him for the next 5 games or 10 games.
That's the only aspect. That's the only thing I love Jose Mourinho for. No sentiments. I think in this scenario he would have dropped him. And believe me, what we did. Here's my argument here, and I'm going to let DJ come in. But I get your argument for him. I'm going to let DJ come in here. DJ, I know. Can you hear me now, brother?
I can hear you, bro. I can hear you guys.
Excellent. So now, Kepa Arrizabalaga was the goalkeeper for us in all the Carabao Cup games until the final. Before that, we went to the Club World Cup. Mendy was away. That is for AFCON, and before that, Kepa hasn't put the foot wrong. He's been doing it well. His performances, some great saves, saved us on occasions on matches he played in the absence of Edouard Mendy. And then boom, Mendy comes back from AFCON and joins the team straight from the competition. And Kepa Arrizabalaga gets dropped to the bench. He dropped to the bench for Mendy to start. Yeah. Now, to me, Mendy will start taking things for granted at that point, because he has no competition. You have made it clear to him he has no competition. And as if that wasn't enough, we returned to England, the Carabao Cup final, that it has always been a Kepa Arrizabalaга's game. You drop him to the bench again, and have Mendy start that game. That again, you're showing Mendy your place is not under threat. You're the number one goalkeeper. That's not okay for a club like Chelsea Football Club. What did Liverpool do? They let the guy that have been playing the cup game finish it.
Yeah.
So psychologically, even if Mendy isn't that type of a person, humans, for instance, you take things for granted if you don't work for it. And right now, you can say Mendy at this point hasn't worked for his place, and he will be taking it for granted. And subconsciously, he will not be pushing. He will not be working as hard as he should be working, because on 2 occasions, we've shown him that you don't even need to work for it. It's your place. Your thoughts, DJ?
Yeah, first of all, before I answer your question, I just want to say big up to Nick Blue in the comments. He just said big up to me. Big up to you, bro. Hope you're keeping well. And everyone else has said in the comments as well. Big up to you all. Listen, on the Mendy situation, and what I will say to you is let's go back. Let's take the Carabao Cup final as an example here, right? If you look at some of the saves Mendy did in that game when there were chances that come across, I say Kepa gets beaten in that game. Because the reason being, I've said it before, the reason why Real Madrid didn't probably score as many as they did yesterday is because a lot of their times they were taking their shots from they were scoring from close goals. But if that had been Kepa in goal, again, I'm not knocking Kepa. He maybe would have been maybe he would have saved some of those. All Real Madrid would have to do yesterday was shoot from distance and the ball goes into the back of the net. Yeah, that is one thing Kepa's weakness is. Whereas Mendy covers the whole box. Now I get his kicking is not great, and we saw that happen again yesterday, right? Okay, but for me, Mendy stays number one regardless, whatever the situation is, because I personally think he's earned those opportunities to stay. Yeah, I'd say yeah. If you're playing a goalkeeper in a Carabao Cup fight, in a Carabao Cup, and yes, you go to the final. Yes, I agree. Maybe he should have started the final because he took us all the way there, and obviously Mendy. But then you look at that final and say, you're playing Liverpool and had some of those chances that Liverpool did have. They did have. Had Kepa been in the goal, would it have been a different scoreline? Liverpool maybe could have won that game. You bring on Kepa with the penalties. He didn't really do anything when the penalty kick. I know it was only for a short period of time. He conceded all the penalty kicks, and he also blazed his one over the bar. Yeah,
even the one he touched.
I'm not saying I'm not saying Mendy would have done better. Okay, all I'm basically saying is okay, and what Fahim is saying is I have to agree with Fahim on this is. You don't drop Mendy,
I have 2 people on the panel against me. I wish Nick,
bro.
Nick, if you can hear me, Nick Blue, if you can hear me, please join the panel. Fahim and DJ are conniving against me. Don't worry, I'll be fine. But go ahead, DJ, brother.
I'm not conniving. No. What I'm saying to you, bro. No. I agree with you to some degree. Yes, maybe what Tuchel should have probably done after this international break. Bearing in mind that Kepa did not go to any international football. He should have really been the one who started the game against Brentford on Saturday. Okay. But then again, we don't know how the scoreline would have been because as I keep saying, the only way of beating Kepa and if a lot of teams have figured it all out is you shoot it from distance and you're going to score 9 out of 10 times. You shoot from distance, the ball's going to hit the back of the net.
You can't prove that, brother. If you remember when we knew go ahead, bro.
Chelsea perspective, how many times have you seen him get beaten from long distance shots?
Those things happened when he was low on confidence, when we newly signed him, because he came at a very high price. Most of the Premier League games were trying shots outside the box, and he was stopping them even at the 90th angle. He was stopping them. You can remember. You sure do remember that. He started having issues, and it just seemed as if when he was low on confidence, which started on the Frank Lampard, and Frank didn't handle the Kepa Arrizabalaga situation very well. And teams knew that he was low on confidence, and they start coming at him. But I'm going to let you finish. But that's, by the way, let me make a point clear. I'm not saying Mendy is not a good goalkeeper. He's a very, very good goalkeeper, world class at that. But he needs to understand that position isn't his place to keep. And we need to show him that if he underperforms, Kepa Arrizabalaga comes in. That will make a huge difference. But go ahead. And I think I have a partner, Nick joins to help save my life here before you went for him.
I know
deals with me.
I know Nick's probably going to come at me over this year, but look, listen. All I'm going to basically say is look, Kepa is a good. I'm not saying Kepa is not great. Yeah, I agreed. I've said all along, even when when they came back from international duty, I did say Kepa should have started against Brentford. I did actually come out and say that because I had a feeling Mendy would have been mentality tired. But then you play him against the Real Madrid, which he obviously started yesterday. But You played him in the 2 games, okay, and obviously we got a 7-2 aggregate scoreline, if you want to call it that. Conceding obviously 4 and then 3 yesterday. Yeah. But whether Kepa would have, the only question I'll say is, do you think you saw the game yesterday, right, Coachella, yeah? Do you think Kepa, and I asked the whole panel this as well, because I know Nick Blue's come on here, and Nick Blue was probably at the game yesterday like I was. Do you think Kepa would have saved those 2 goals, those 2 headers yesterday?
The first one, there's a possibility he could save it. You could argue that all along. Check Kepa Arrizabalaga saves. Check his saves. Check his saves. There's a possibility you can't. There's no way to tell,
right?
Because he wasn't on the post. But I get your question. That was a world class finish, by the way. But we can't. Yes, there's no way to tell whether. But that's the argument, DJ. You're trying to make sure you win this fight. But argument here is Mendy subconsciously feels like he's not under pressure to perform. If you ask me, whether you like it or not, it's a common thing with humans. When you're not under pressure, you don't move like you're under pressure. Because he's like, I'm going to repeat myself again. On 2 occasions where Kepa Arrizabalaga would feel, okay, he deserved to start. He was dropped to the bench, and Mendy starts. And Mendy doesn't have competition. And by now, he knows that. And that's a problem for us. He should know that he has a competition. I wouldn't, if I were Thomas Tuchel, I wouldn't for any reason drop Kepa Arrizabalaga to the bench to start Edouard Mendy in the Club World Cup final. That is no sentiment. He merited to start that game because his saves were shambolic in the semifinals. If it wasn't for his brilliance, we wouldn't even be in the final. So I'd risk it and start him in that game. So he's with high on confidence no matter what happens. Then whenever Mendy isn't available, if you bring him in, he'd be 100% and happy to perform. But that alone is a huge blow to his confidence. And if that wasn't enough, it happened again in the FA Cup final, in the Carabao Cup final. So DJ, I don't know what you're trying to explain to me, but I hope you get my point here.
Yeah, I get. Look, listen. All I'm basically trying to say is look, I do think Kepa is a good number 2. I'm not saying that he is, but for me, Mendy should be staying in goal. I know, okay, but against probably on Saturday against Southampton, I probably will, because mentally he's probably tired, and I would bring him back for the Southampton game, Kepa in goal. I'll say that. I'll say on that.
Okay, we'll see who wins. But then
if what's his name gets a good free kick, don't expect him to save it. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say on that one, yeah? Don't expect to save it. Don't expect
oh my goodness. I have my good friend and brother in the house. I think he's going to help me. He's going to save me today. Fahim, you have anything to add before I go to Nick Blue?
No, I mean, I agree with most of your points, Coach. Like the Carabao Cup final, maybe Kepa should have started that final. He deserves to start. But I think what we're talking about right now, maybe Kepa probably should start against Southampton, because Mendy looks completely out of focus right now. Completely out of focus. So I don't know if it's an arrogant thing. I'm not too sure, to be honest.
I think it's mental tiredness, bro. I think it's mental tiredness.
I think it's mental
for a goalkeeper, DJ.
Yeah, look, mate, he did travel. Kepa didn't travel.
Let's go back a bit, DJ. Let's go back for him. Since you're the one, you're the one talking. Let's go back to the West Ham game, which you say it was mental tiredness, and the subsequent games where he made those mistakes. And remember, DJ, I know you're a lawyer in terms of defending players, but you're not going to win this one. Remember, we all agreed, and for him, you agreed also, that since after the West Ham game and on subsequent games, Mendy has made quite a lot of mistakes. We've just been lucky that our opponents haven't been taking those chances. Some of them were clear-cut chances, but go ahead for him.
No, I agree with that. I just think Mendy's played a bit too many games. So, yeah, there are times where I think maybe Kepa should have started a few games. to just ease Mendy's sort of mental fatigueness. But I think, yeah, I've said it before. Like, we were lucky that we didn't get punished enough with his mistakes since the West Ham game.
Okay, I agree with you. Even I love you. I wasn't gonna give you a shout out, but I'm just gonna do it for him because I love you. But you're against me. But anyway, I'm gonna do the shout out anyway. Gentlemen, please, if you're in the chat, make sure to go check out CFC for him. He's a good guy. He's become a brother over time. I love him so much because he produces objectively crafted content, no clickbait. That's why I love Fahim. So let me go to somebody that I know will be on my side. Nick Blue. Nick, welcome to the show, brother. Always good to have you.
Oh, man.
Nick, are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, while I wait for Nick to come, I want to show you guys on Facebook. Oh, okay. Nick, are you there now?
I don't know. I can hear you.
Can you hear me, Nick?
Okay.
Okay, and before I let you say something, gentlemen, we have 101 people watching right now, so we should have at least 100 likes. If you haven't, please be sure to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and more importantly, click on the bell notification button so you will be notified whenever we go live. And by the way, the Blue Morning Show, it's a daily show. And also remember, we're selecting each day for 8 days. We'll select contestants to participate in the Roman Abramovich tribute contest, and you get to win $150 if you make it to the final and win the final. We select 8 people. We have quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals. So if you emerge the winner, you win $150. And the rule is you must be on camera, but if you cannot be on camera, you can transfer your spot to somebody else that is willing to be on camera. But that's, by the way, now you go ahead. And I like this guy on the screen, Sal, he's on my side. That's the main issue. There's no competition for him. He means Mendy, and his ego has grown a little too much. And that's something that happens to humans subconsciously. You might not know it, but because you don't have no pressure, no competition, you relent. You'd not be as, you'd not be working as hard as you should be working. So, Nick, can you tell us what you think about Edouard Mendy's performance of late?
Let me start with the game first, if you don't mind, because it wasn't just Mendy's big mistake. That was part.
No, but we get to them one by one. But the main topic we're talking right now is really about Mendy's. Yet, if you look at this picture here, it says yet another Mendy error. So we'll get to the others.
Yeah, he is mentally tired, like Sav said. He's
lost hope.
He's not.
You're not for me, Nick. You're not supporting me, Nick. But go ahead.
He's made too many mistakes. Not just last night. He's made a lot of mistakes. He keeps passing the ball to the opposing team too many times. Yesterday cost us very big time, because it was 2-1, and we were just coming back in the game. We were getting there. The crowd were really up for it. Then he goes and gives that ball to Benzema, and that was it. 3-1. It was a struggle. We were trying to make it 3-2, but it was hard. It was hard because Lukaku was on the bench. He came on too late. I hope Tuchel realizes now he has to start Lukaku more. And another, I wanted to mention, Christensen was disgusting, rubbish yesterday. Christensen, even Kanté shouldn't have started the game. Should have been Kova and Jorginho together, because he hasn't been on form. I was really shocked. I thought Kova would start. Kova is one of the first names on the team sheet, really. And another one, Mason Mount. What did he do? Nothing. He's off form as well. Don't play the players that were not on form this year or the last few games. He's been terrible the last few games. You can't start him. We know he's a great player. He's our number one best in the world, but he's not on form. That's a big mistake. And putting Aspie on the left wing back. How can you put Aspie left wing back? That was a big mistake by Tuchel. That's not his position, and he can't play
Nick,
that.
can I ask you this? Can I ask you
Let me
this?
finish. Wait a minute. Let me finish. Yeah, I would have preferred.
Go ahead, brother.
There.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I would have preferred Alonso. My lineup was like this: Alonso, Rhys James on the right, and Aspie at the back with Rudiger and Silva. Keep it like that. It worked before. This was a big game. Alonso hasn't been good, but this is a sort of game Alonso likes. He would have loved this game because he's no one wants to put him in and all that. He got it wrong. Tuchel got it wrong, and Ziyech, he should have started the game. Ziyech, he didn't. Another one. So many errors by the coach. I love him. I love Thomas Tuchel, but he got it wrong. And he made, during the game.
Okay, that's your argument, and we will talk about Nick.
Yeah,
we will talk about that.
Well, Kepa now.
Sorry,
Kepa. Of course, he should have started the League Cup final. He deserved to play. He was playing good when Mendy was away in Africa.
Thank you.
I was really surprised. Yeah, no, I'm 100%. Kepa should have played.
Thank you.
Because Mendy was away. Kepa won us games. He kept a clean sheets for how many games? So no way he should have been dropped. That was a big mistake by Tuchel. And now Tuchel's going to realize he's mentally tired. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Kepa Saturday. But
thank you very much. And I just got a private message from Ty Talks telling me I am on your side. So, but Nick, at last. Nick said something. Nick is on my side. At least he agrees. Kepa should have started the Carabao Cup final. And how about the Club World Cup? What do you think?
That's why we lost the Carabao Cup final because Kepa didn't start. If Kepa was there for the penalties, it would have been a different story. How many times I have to keep saying it? I'm really pissed off with Tuchel at the moment. Really.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Nick, and thank you for coming on to save me because Fahim and DJ had serious plan against me, but I'm happy I have you here. And also, Nick, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for joining us from the stadium yesterday and showing us some good pictures. That was great. Thank you again, Nick.
Yeah, but Kepa was in goal for the penalties, Nick, against Liverpool.
DJ really wants to fight this morning. Can I ask you this, DJ?
Yeah,
can I ask you this, DJ?
Wait a minute. Wait. Let me reply to DJ. Yeah, I know.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I've got. Look, because Mendy started the game, all right. And Kepa really wanted to start that game. You can see in his face. But once they only brought him on for the penalty, so it didn't work out. But he didn't look confident. He was pissed off. You can see his face,
I
man.
Get that.
Don't tell me you couldn't see it. He was pissed
I get
off
that, bro. I get
because he wanted to start that game. That's why we lost the cup final. Yeah. Mendy was there, through the game. Mendy, I love Mendy. Great goalkeeper. I want to buy him. I want to find by check. Great, but give him a rest. That's all. He has to have a rest. Yeah.
Okay, let me say this. Let me say this now. I'm glad I have Nick Blue in the house and also Ty Talks in the house who private messaged me right now, letting me know that he's on my side. And Nick, thank you so much for hopping on to save my life because I don't know the plans that DJ Sam and Fahim CFC has. And Fahim, I'll get revenge on your channel, but don't worry. Now, what I want to say is this about your question, DJ. Now, if you were Kepa Arrizabalaga and you played the semifinals in the Club World Cup and you were brilliant because truthfully, I know you can agree, it was Kepa's brilliance that made sure we made it to the final of that competition.
Agreed, yeah.
And then Mendy, who's been away for almost a month, or if not a month and some days, comes back. And all the games before time that Kepa Arrizabalaga played in the absence of Edouard Mendy, he was brilliant. He saved us in a lot of games. And then, boom, the moment Edouard Mendy comes back, and believe me, Mendy is a good goalkeeper. He's world class, in fact. You get dropped to the bench, and Mendy starts the game. That's number one. Remember, you just showed Mendy that you're fine. You don't have anything to worry about. You have no competition here. And you just showed Kepa Arrizabalaga you're crap. Mendy is better than you 10 times. And I don't really need you. And if that wasn't enough, if that wasn't enough, I was thinking, since that happened, that maybe when we come back to England, since Kepa Arrizabalaga has always been the one being our top goalkeeper, that in that final, that he will keep it. As if the first thing you did to him wasn't enough, you benched him again for the second time. That's a serious blow to his confidence.
Coach, I agree with you, though. I agree with that statement, what you're saying. I agree that Kepa should have started, though.
Okay, let me answer. Thank you very much. You're my friend now. We're not fighting again.
One thing.
DJ, I'll come to you. That's a serious second blow to his confidence. And then during the game, he sat on the bench. Yeah. And if it were you, every normal human being by default will be disgruntled, whether you like it or not, no matter how nice of a person you are. Any normal human being will not be happy, will be grumbling. If I were Thomas Tuchel and Kepa didn't start that final against Liverpool, I will not bring him on. It's a risk. First of all, like Stan argued here before, he came in cold, and that's the truth. Yeah. And during the penalties, you could see, even when he was getting ready to come in, you could see that he still wasn't happy that he wasn't starting that final. And you could see he touched one of them, which under normal circumstance, Kepa will stop. But he didn't. And who misses a penalty like that? That's to show you that he was disinterested. And the crying he cried after the miss, if you ask me, I'd say wasn't because of the miss. There you go. You have your answer, DJ.
Yeah, but spot on, man.
Yes, go ahead, Ty, if you want to say something.
Sorry, Ty.
Sorry,
Ty. Before you say anything, I'm going to say something. The Arsenal fan in the comment section, I don't usually get rattled by you guys, but all I have to say to your comments is, where are your Champions League trophies? And then you can carry on talking to me. That's all I have to say on that. Sorry.
Yeah, well, thank you for that response. And we have about 187 people, 200 people watching right now, and we have just 38 likes. The Prince in the house, and please tell people, please click on the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Once you like the video, it will trigger the Google algorithm and push the stream to more people who will enjoy this kind of show. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The Blue Morning Show is a daily show. It starts 11 a.m. UK every day. And also remember, we're selecting contestants or candidates, if you prefer, for a Roman Abramovich tribute contest. Each day we would select one person. We'll have two contestants already, which is TC and Tobago. And if you participate, you get a chance to win $150 if you make it to the final. So now I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to you, Ty. You were saying something.
Yeah, and I was going to say that Blue and you have said everything that I wanted to say, and it's spot on. Because to me, when it came back, we're going back to the, to the Club World Cup final and the Carabao Cup final. I was saying, Kepa was the one that was up to the build-up to us leading, especially the Carabao Cup final, because he played each and every game from the round that we entered in. Him winning us in the penalty shootouts against Southampton, and once again when we played again and again and again. And, for me, I've always said that we need competition in every position on the pitch, because the moment you have that prevents complacency. Because if you have somebody who knows that, I can drop a stinker here and I'm still going to play because I don't have competition. So I can just drop up a stinker and I'll just still be trusted to play again, because if I'm not performing well, there's nobody who can come in and say, you're not performing, I'm going to take this opportunity to make a name for myself. And that is the attitude that Mendy will start to develop, because he knows that, and like you guys said as well, having him come right back in the Carabao Cup final show that, and people said it, play your number one Mendy, and I kept saying Kepa is the one that allowed us to get there. People bring it back and say Mendy made us be able to play the Carabao Cup final, the Club World Cup final. But that doesn't really matter because you can do that because anybody can win their team the Champions League final. And even win them a cup. I use this example. Adrian won Liverpool the Super Cup. He stopped Tammy's penalty. That doesn't mean that he's a world-class goalkeeper. That just means that in that very moment, he was able to do something that would help his team. Kepa did something good. So for me, it wasn't fair that he was dropped.
You're
Yeah,
spot on,
brilliant,
100%.
brilliant input right
You know,
there. Go ahead. You were saying something for him.
You start with Kepa from the beginning. Why drop him in the final? Doesn't make sense.
Exactly. Good question.
You know, Tuchel got it wrong. He really wrong. He got it wrong last night, and he got it wrong on Saturday. You know, I love Tuchel, but when he gets it wrong, you have to say it. You know.
Yeah,
sorry,
correct. We have to speak the truth here. Andrew, I'll come to you in a bit. Just let me, this is an interactive show. So, and most importantly, I must welcome you to Chelsea Perspective. I know this is your first appearance on the channel. You're welcome. Feel at home here. We own the channel. There's nothing like I own it. It's a democracy here. And thank you. I appreciate you finding time to join.
I want to say big up to Andrew. Great.
Big up to him. Big up to Andrew.
All over the place. Big up, Andrew.
And Nick, I was saying thank you. I was saying thank you to you, Nick. I don't know if you were paying attention. On 2 occasions now, you've brought us live pictures from Stamford Bridge on the day of the protest, and also the pre-match show. You brought us some live pictures. I want to thank you. That's been great for the channel. So let me quickly go through the comments here. And this is just Viola saying, I think Kepa should have played at the Brentford game or to give Mendy some rest. That's you. Again, I saw his training with Senegal during the international break, and I told my friend Mendy was going to flop when he returns. Can you tell us why? If you can quickly, time for Kepa to start. I think we can all agree to that. Big up, everyone. Big up, Glenn. Nice to see you here. Let me see if there's anything that's worth addressing in the comment. Then we can quickly address that or read out the comments. Let me see. Glenn says, stop messing around at the back. Smash it forward for once instead of this tiki-taka. Makes me nervous. I think sometimes he can be overconfident when he's on the ball. But again, Mendy's issue goes beyond his ability on the ball, because the fact is he's not actually bad on the ball. I think sometimes he overthinks it, like Fahim mentioned, or he overdoes things and then finds himself in trouble. Let me see, there's something else here. And this is who Major General N'Golo Kante. Nice to see you here, brother. And he says, I agree with Coach. Mendy is arrogant and plays like he has no competition. More importantly, no competition is the issue for me. He feels like it is his place to keep. So that is a big issue. We didn't lose because of Mendy. Our defense and midfield cost us. Yeah, that's the truth. But we're just talking about the Mendy issue because it's become a constant occurrence since after the game against West Ham United. So I'm going to go to Andrew now, and then I'll come back to the chat in a bit. Andrew, let me phrase the question to you this way. Mendy has, since his two costly mistakes against West Ham United, there's hardly a game that he's played for us that he hasn't made one mistake, or at least one mistake or two. But we've been lucky that the opponents has not been, they've not been making the most of those mistakes that Mendy has made. Do you think it's because he feels like, because he doesn't have competition? Because no matter how you argue it, some will say we have 2 world-class goalkeepers, but you've shown the other goalkeeper that he's nothing, that he's crap, that he's worthless as long as Mendy is fit. Do you think that's subconsciously leading to Mendy's, woeful performances of late?
First of all, thank you for having me on. I'm struggling to. You say 1 or 2 mistakes every match. I don't see that at all.
Let's say at least one per game.
I don't even see 1 every match, so I don't know where that's coming
really?
from. Really? No, I don't. This is the first. Yes, last night is the first time that anyone could say he's made a mistake between now and West Ham.
No, I'm not saying all the mistakes haven't led to goals.
No. I'm just saying I can't remember. I watch Chelsea. I don't remember him making a lot of mistakes whatsoever. Mm-hmm. This narrative now that somehow Kepa has got to come in is also ridiculous as well. Goalies don't need to be rested. Why would a goalie need to be rested? They need to be rotated, maybe, but Mendy's coming in. Mendy's on a high from getting Senegal into the World Cup. Why would you then put him on the bench? We got destroyed by Brentford because of Tuchel, not because of Mendy. His tactics last night, Tuchel is solely to blame for his tactics last night and before. Mendy has got a lot in the bank to suddenly now have this narrative from some Chelsea fans that, Kepa, we should give Kepa a try or something like that. Kepa's rose up or anything like that. That somehow Kepa was okay coming on in a Super Cup for penalties, but he was a bit angry because he was dropped. He knows he's number 2. Why would he be angry that he's dropped? He knows he's number 2. Mendy is the number 1. It was the same when Cech was here. Cech was number 1. Whoever was afterwards knew they were number 2. Mendy has earned the right to be number 1 and for us to back him fully. Yesterday was a mistake. That cost us, absolutely, and you can blame him for that. But to suddenly come down that he's been getting away with things for the last few months since West Ham, I don't believe that to be the case whatsoever. So
your thoughts on Andrew's input, because I'm surprised. Andrew, I'm surprised because I know you. Yeah, I know you're somebody that pays great attention to games. To me, I'd still argue it again, but that's why we're here. We put head together and come to sensible conclusions. To me, Mendy, since after that game against West Ham, there's hardly a game that he hasn't put one foot wrong, but we've been lucky. But then again, you say you didn't see those things. Fahim, your thoughts?
If you could bring him up, I'd like to know what you were talking about.
I can't bring him up on the screen, but I think that's a video probably I'll send to you to see for yourself. I didn't need those videos.
He did get away with what he got punished for last night against Brentford, if you remember. The short pass at 0-0, he did get away with it against Brentford, but it cost him last night. So the last 2 games, that's fine. Last 2 games, he's made mistakes. Everything like that, but I think to suddenly say no, he needs to be rested or Kepa should start against Southampton.
No. Here's my argument, Andrew. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. My argument isn't that he should be rested. I don't have everyone argue the goalkeeper should be rested. My argument is that the fact that the way we've treated Kepa Arrizabalaga can subconsciously or indirectly start making him feel like he's, even without knowing it, we're humans, that he has no competition, and then subconsciously that will start affecting his performance for the club. And believe me, he's not been as good as he's been for Senegal, for Chelsea Football Club of late. But that's me, and we all see things differently.
Okay, I understand that. I will say I don't think we've been playing well since December. I think the run of games, the fixtures has clouded a lot of this team's performances, and we've been found out the last couple of games. But we're gonna, and I don't really like to do this, but I think the focus has to be on the manager for the last couple of games, not the player. Some of the players, secondly, is the players, but the manager has to be the focus of the last couple of games. Playing 4 at the back, with the worst left side in Chelsea history in Alonso and Werner. The worst Chelsea left-hand side I've ever seen. And yesterday, coach, why did we not play 3 in midfield like we did against Real Madrid last season? Why did we play 2? We were so open yesterday. Why didn't we not play that? Mason Mount had brilliant games against Real Madrid last season when he dropped in with Kante and Jorginho. Do you remember that? When we were pressing, we pressed Kroos and Modric last season, Casemiro. They were playing sweepers against us. They were so far back, they were trying to do quarterback passes. Yesterday, big bulk of it is on the manager. And Mendy made a mistake, and that Mendy's mistake will probably cost us overall because it's the 3rd goal, right? It's the 3rd goal. And we're just lucky it's not away goals, because if it was away goals, we'd be out. We'd definitely be out of this tie.
I'm happy you agree to that, because I know how you analyze games. But I'm going to say this again. Let me come to you, Fahim. What your thoughts on Andrew's argument that Mendy has not been, averaging at least 1 mistake per game since the West Ham game?
Well, I think the mistake we don't mean the mistake of like last night.
Leading to goals.
There's some distributions, for example, his goal kicks are very low. Where
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, I agree. I agree sometimes that. But
Yeah, so that's I
but
think what we were
what you have to do
meaning.
is probably what you have to do is make. Sorry, I probably did this probably. So like, has it his mistakes? Has it cost us? Yesterday it was the first time it's cost us since West Ham, I believe. That is a mistake has cost us. I believe he's had that. It's got a lot better since he arrived at the distribution. There's still an issue there though with me, or his distribution definitely. But sorry, you continue.
Yeah, no, I agree most of Andrew's points. I think you know what, Mendy is probably the least of our problems right now. I think the
No, we'll
fact
talk
that
about everything, but the focus right now is Mendy. You know, we'll get to everyone
Yeah.
one by one.
yeah, but it's
But
like
Fahim, I thought you were on my side.
no, I said I agree with you. The fact that Kepa should have started the Carabao Cup final, I definitely agree with that.
That's fine.
Because
I was
Mendy-
calling for Kepa to start as well because I
Yeah.
thought he would just the way.
But
just the
Andrew,
way,
really, do you think that subconsciously or indirectly, the Kepa treatment it's not good? Mendy should feel like he has a competition, but that right now the way Kepa has been treated, I don't think he feels the same.
But it's just the problem is with goalkeepers is do they really have competition overall? If you look at the history of goalkeepers, look at us. We had Czech for 10 years. He was always going to be number one. He had no competition, right? He had no competition. Let's face it, right? Even Thibaut Courtois, to a certain extent, had really no competition. So to say that the goalkeeper needs competition, I don't believe it. What the second goalkeeper has to be is competent. That can come in for a few games here and there. You know how I always rate Kudacini as one of the best backup goalkeepers we've ever had when Czech was there. Because you know when he came in, you still felt safe. That's what a backup goalkeeper is supposed to do for a couple of games, is to make you feel safe. We've never this thing about the goalkeeper should feel more competition. I don't think it exists really in football anymore. I think the only time it does exist is international football. You know, because obviously you're getting like basically three number one goalkeepers in your squad, essentially. Club football doesn't really exist, I don't think. So,
Yeah,
look at Liverpool. Keller
Yeah,
has never, unless Alisson's injured, Keller's never getting ahead of Alisson. And look at Man City's goalkeeper. Stefan's never getting ahead of Edison, is he?
But at least the club didn't make the mistake of dropping him in the Carabao Cup final to use Alisson.
That's true. And I thought he'd started just the way, because remember, he started Kepa in the FA Cup final, which is a bigger final than the League Cup final in terms of the trophy. So it made sense for him to start. I was very surprised he didn't start Kepa either. This is not me saying that Kepa shouldn't have started in the FA League Cup. Kepa should have started because I thought he would do that. That's because he does do that. So, you know. And also maybe he should have brought him on a bit more longer than the last couple of minutes of extra time. Maybe even brought him on for the second half of extra time. Give him like 15 minutes to get properly settled. But that's by and gone now, isn't it?
DJ, coming to you, your thoughts on Andrew's input here. While you're speaking, I'm going to prepare the tool so that we can select the contestants for the day. The third contestant for the Roman Abramovich tribute contest. Go ahead, DJ.
Yeah, big up Andrew as always, but it's always a pleasure having you on the stream game, guys. You're always talking Chelsea football sense all the time, mate. How you doing? You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, pal. Long time no speak. I know we speak in chats a lot, but you know.
Yeah, but I'm not happy. The first day Andrew is here, he's my enemy already. Go ahead, DJ.
No, but,
hey,
no, listen.
Send the bag, man. Send the bag. And I'll see what
No, listen. I've been saying the same. Everything Andrew's literally said, I agree with. And I said, you were talking earlier on about the mistakes Mendy's done, and like he said, if we're talking distribution, then I'd say, yeah, but that's not really led to any goals the opposition scored against us, apart from maybe yesterday. Yeah, obviously Brentford could have done it to us on Saturday, but they didn't. But in terms of what I think we also got to remember, when Thomas Tuchel came in and he actually said about the goalkeeping situation, he did actually say that Mendy is number one. Okay, and Kepa and Kepa knows that, and they would have had that discussion anyway when he'd come to when he came in. So for me, look, I get the debate. Oh yeah, he started every cup game. You know, he should have maybe started the final. And like others, I was surprised he did not start the Carabao Cup final, because obviously he started the FA Cup final last year. But it was obviously a decision that Tuchel decided. No, maybe he thought maybe last season. I'm not saying maybe he thought last year in the FA Cup final, that goal that was conceded against him. Maybe he thought, I'm not going to risk it because he wants to obviously try and win the trophies as well. Being Chelsea manager, so he probably thought I'll put my best goalkeeper out there. Whether it was the right decision, now we're obviously saying no, it's not, because obviously we've gone on to lose it. But I'm not blaming it down to we've lost it because Kepa wasn't in the goal and Mendy was. It just happened. It just came down to a lottery kick of penalties, and unfortunately Liverpool got theirs and we didn't get ours. That's all it came down to. But in terms of distribution and what we're talking about, yeah, I get Mendy's. He's got that in him, but so does Kepa sometimes in his game. But all I'll say is, look, Mendy is the number one goalkeeper, and I can see why Thomas Tuchel has picked him over him. And in terms of resting him, maybe he should have people saying, oh, like Andrew said, they don't really need that because obviously he's a goalkeeper. He needs to, he's our number one. He should come and perform as a number one. But sometimes, the odd situation can happen, which we saw yesterday happened. But as I said, it's very unlikely, when he's done those mistakes in the past, we've never really paid for them, especially with the distribution. We've always found a way of getting out of it. So, look, yes, there was a one-off mistake, but if you ask me to choose between the mistakes he's made and the mistakes Kepa's made, I think we both will all agree on this panel. Kepa's made more mistakes.
DJ, I don't know if anyone agrees with this. The thing was to get the 3 points against Brentford. Whatever the result is yesterday was, then rotate most players against Southampton.
Yeah,
right. Because you've got in between now. We have to go Southampton and win. We have to go and win because 100%. I know Arsenal lost Monday, but it's to mathematically get this league position top 4 done as quickly as possible. And we now have to play nearly a fully strength team against Southampton because we messed up against Brentford.
Yeah,
and that's the issue. Well, that would have been if we'd won against Brentford and even lost yesterday. If people were going, put Kepa in for Southampton, I would have gone, no problem, because with the league season's nearly done, right? We would have been like 8 points ahead of third with little games left. We've done it. Now we have to play nearly a fully strength squad, fully strength team against them, and that's the problem with it now.
It is a big problem indeed. DJ, I want to bring in Nick Blue to say something before I go to Ty, and then we'll select the contestant, today's contestant.
Yeah. I agree with what Andrew's saying. Mendy is our number one. He will be.
You agree with Andrew too?
I agree about the number one, but we're just saying Kepa, it deserved to play in that final. That was a bad mistake by Tuchel. He should have played him. He played every other round, and he done well. He got the final. Just give him some games when he deserves. That's what we're saying. Of course, Mendy, he made that mistake last night. It was, horrendous. But we still have him. He's still our number one. It doesn't matter what anyone says. He's our number one. But, the game wasn't just lost with Mendy. It was lost with our very bad defending. And Tuchel, I agree with Andrew, Tuchel got it completely wrong. Play has to be on the left wing back. That's not his place. Play starting Christensen. He should have never started that. He should have had Aspie at the back with Rudiger and Silva. And put Alonso there. All right, Alonso is slow, but he can come to life on these sort of games. He had to play Alonso. There was no one else.
Yeah.
That's why.
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, and in the midfield, it didn't work because Kante ain't on form. He started, kept losing the ball. He was really bad, and it's not just yesterday. Last night, he's out of form at the moment. Don't play. He's one of our best players. Kovac had to play last night. That's why another reason we lost. And Ziyech should have started for me, not Mason Mount. Mount should have been on the.
He should have started, but we'll talk about the midfield later in the show. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, that's what I have to say about Mendy.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you very much, Nick. Again, I always like to have you on the panel, but today you're against me, but that's not a problem. Paul, this is really a savage response from you. Even the people in the chat are against me. He says, Kuchila, who gave us that opportunity of playing in the Club World Cup in the first place with a serious LOOL? But okay, I will survive. That's by the way. And let me go through the chat again to see if there's anything to read. And please, if you're in the chat, we have some great content creators here. Andrew, I don't know. Do you have a channel actually, Andrew?
No, not at the moment. No.
Okay. Look at you should go check out. Even though he's against me, go check out CFC Fahim. Check out Thai Talks CFC. Both great channels and both producing objectively crafted content. I think you will love them. No clickbait. They speak the truth, and that's why I am good friends with them, and that's why I trust them. Even though right now Fahim is against me, it's okay. I will come out safe. And this is Benzema just have magic. The goalkeepers make errors again. Yep. Tuchel made it clear that Mendy is number one. Again, I wouldn't be saying that. The better thing if I were Tuchel, that whoever performs better keeps the goalkeeping position. But I'm not Tuchel. Tuchel is Tuchel. The best striker has slapped one costly mistake. 1, 2, 3 difference. Okay, and that's okay. I think there's nothing else to address here. If I found one, I will highlight some comments that we're gonna address later. And this is Haha Madrid 3-1. That's a troll. And it's okay. Hit the like button. Don't be shy. Cry some more. That's a troll too. But just leave the trolls there. They're providing more views for us. That's fine. I enjoy this kind of show. The kind of show where we see the tears of English teams, where you say before about Madrid. Okay, good. We'll see. It's not over yet. That's one thing you have to recognize, my friend. And if Kepa played and missed those goals, we would be saying, why not keep Mendy? But let him at least show him you trust him at first, so that if Mendy gets injured or if anything happens, then we have somebody who's happy to come in and play. I don't want to blame Tuchel. I know I don't want to blame him either, but I get Nick Blue's comment. I think when a troll becomes insulting, please make sure to block the troll. And John CFC, nice to see you here, brother. I think this is your first time. And if you're watching, please make sure to smash that like button. We still have just 60 likes while we have 120 people watching. Please be sure to smash the like button so that the Google YouTube can push the stream to more people. Christensen Lukaku, who loves to stick. Yeah, again, I get your argument there. And Melissa Castillo, nice to see you back again. You've missed for a few days now. I'm going to type what you need to type to participate in the selection for the contestant to get a chance to win $150. And Mikhail, nice to see you around, brother. Mikhail says, just returned. We don't have a match fitness as a team. Chilwell's still out, and we haven't been in good form lately. So we were in no way at our strongest. Okay, in terms of the case of in the case of Chilwell and James that just returned, that reminds me of my argument that the biggest problem with Chelsea is that we have backups and we have starters. We don't have all starters. We don't have competition like Man City and Liverpool. But in case of Chelsea, once the starter gets injured, we have a problem. Well, once Ben Chilwell got injured, all we have was Alonso, and he's not up to par. Same as James, we don't have capable player to come in and play as good as him. So that has been a serious issue at Chelsea Football Club. We always have starters and we have backers. We should have all starters so that everybody has serious competition. Whoever starts, then we'll be confident that person will do well. So in the chat, I'm going to put, here's where what you need to type. You need to type whether you are a Real Madrid fan or Arsenal fan, or you are allowed to participate. If you get picked, then you start from the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals. And if you win, you will get $150. So there you go. You type hashtag Roman Abramovich tribute. I will wait for you, and then I'll do the draw to pick the contestant of the day. So Andrew, I will come to you. Your thoughts on the fact that what I say, the problem with Chelsea Football Club is that we have backups and we have starters. And once the starter gets injured, we're in serious trouble.
Yeah, I totally agree. The drop-off is very big. I think in the summer we were all still riding the train of the European Cup win. We allowed that to cover this squad, how good they were. This squad, in terms of numbers, is huge, but in terms of quality, is not that big. This squad, the The decision still in January not to sign a left back still befuddles me, even when finding out how long Chilwell would be out for. That's wrong. The backup for Reece James, Azpilicueta has been a fantastic servant, but he is declining, and we can all see that. He can't play a sustained amount of games. The midfield options as well. Loftus-Cheek, man, I'm so sorry for him, but he's not Chelsea quality. He has to leave. And then after you got Saul after that, you still got Barkley at this club. It's horrendous. And let's face it, for the past 5 years, our buys in attack have been about 90% woeful. They've been absolutely rubbish. Most of these attacking players that we've got. Havertz to a lesser degree, but he needs to put in a full season shift before you can give him like all the flowers. But the whole squad, I mean, you're absolutely right. This is where I differ from my argument about the goalkeeper. The rest of the squad, you need to know you've got competition in those places. You need to be on your game. That's what our old squads of old, they had that. They had that, if this player didn't pop up, this player's going to replace you. I mean, the midfield of like, when you had a midfield of 06, 07, and you had Lampard, Ballack, Mikel, Essien, Makelele, and you only played 3 of those. The 3 that are in there, you'd had to be on your game, or else you were going to be replaced. That's the problem with this squad. This squad, we spent £250 million, and we need to spend a whole lot more to get these players out and get them in, because we need a very good squad. Otherwise, we are going to be a competing top 4 side, and that's it. We will not be a league competing side. And the issue is now with the ownership. What's their structure? Are they going to follow a Liverpool structure? If that's the case, then this team is not going to be properly assembled for the next 4 to 5 years. That's the issue. But in every other position, it needs to be competition. Or if everyone's rotated or injured, the person who comes in needs to be at least 80 to 85% of the player they're replacing, so the decline isn't that much. And that's the problem. You take Reece James and Chilwell out, they're up here. The replacements are way down here, and that's the issue.
Yeah, good input right there, and I appreciate. That's why I'm happy, and I hope you keep coming back, because the Blue Morning Show is a daily show, 11 a.m. UK time, and I hope you still have time to be with us while we continue the show. DJ, your thoughts on Chelsea? The problem with Chelsea is having backups and starters.
Yeah, 100% again on what Andrew's saying. I mean, we go back to the plays that we had when under the Mourinho era of obviously Makelele, Essien, Obi Mikel, Drogba. You then obviously had, obviously he may not be great, but Kalou was there. You had plays like that could come on maybe and do something. With this team at this moment in time, I think our midfield isn't all that. I mean, you take the 3 midfielders out that team, Cover, Jorginho and Kante, and then you're thinking, who else is going to come in if one of those 3 are not playing? You look around you and you think, you got Loftus-Cheek. Again, I don't think he's good enough either. Barkley, not good enough. Saul Niguez, well, I don't know why he's even at the football club. He doesn't seem to even be getting a kick at the moment. So yeah, you have to look around, and then you look at obviously as it is, our striking and attack is not great. If Kai Havertz is not doing the business, who is doing the business for us? You look around you, you're looking at Timo Werner, you're looking at Lukaku. None of them in form. None of them are scoring. Yeah, Mason Mount, another one. Yeah, great. First team he plays. He comes out of the team. If he's tired, who comes in place of him? You got people say Ziyech. Okay, Ziyech comes in yesterday. Came in, didn't think he did much yesterday, apart from that one shot he had over the bar. But yeah, he's good enough. He's good for me. He can probably I'd say out of all the backup plays we've got. Obviously, Pulisic is another. You've got Hudson-Odoi. Again, I still rate. I mean, I know a lot of people don't seem to rate this kid. I still think there's a lot to still come out of him at the moment. He's injured. I don't know what's going to happen to him next season. Whether he stays on at Chelsea, I don't know. He maybe gets a loan next season. I don't know. I hope not. But I still think, we haven't got the backup that we need in terms of what we had, seasons ago. And I think we should have strengthened a little bit more in the summer. I think
DJ is still calling it backup.
Sorry, what was that? Who's that?
You're still calling it backup.
Who's that? Who's that? Oh,
You, DJ, yeah, you still saying backup. We don't want backup. We want all starters. But go ahead,
that's
brother.
what I'm trying to say. No, meaning what I'm trying to say is whoever comes in, they're straight replacements of those players that we've got. Should one leave, should one drop out, you've got a good enough player to come in. We don't have that. That's what I'm trying to say. If any of those players were to get injured, I mean, Lukaku, as I said, we've seen that already with him. He's basically not. I don't know what he said. He's just clearly not good enough. All right. So you look around and you think, well, we should have done more in the summer than what we did, only signing the one player. And now we're paying for it, as you can tell, this season. And our squad is not as good as it was in terms of the players that are coming, and not as great. That we didn't strengthen as much as I thought we should have done. And like Andrew's also pointed out, I thought we should have got a left back in January. I don't know whatever happened to that. We were linked with Dest. We were linked with several players. Okay, we could play both. And I think Dest is more of a right back, but he can play both sides. But we were linked with him. That never happened. So again, it's all coming to fruition now. We're paying for those issues now, and let's see what happens now. We've got till the end of the season with this squad, and we can only hope and pray that this squad can take us a little bit more further, or can take us still to where we want to be come the end of the season. But we need to strengthen, and it all comes down to the owners again, who our new owners are going to be, because they've got to put some money into this team, as far as I'm concerned, for next season.
Yep, I appreciate that input. Before I come to you, Fahim, I'm probably going to leave you last because I'm still fighting with you for being against me, but that's by the way. I'm going to say, please, if you're in the chat and if you haven't, please, or whatever you're watching from, make sure to like the video. We have just, I think, 62 likes here. We should have at least 100 likes or even more. If you haven't, please like the video. That would trigger the YouTube algorithm to push the stream to more people so that they can join us here. And also, here is the rule for the Roman Abramovich tribute contest: is that you must be on camera. But if you cannot be on camera, you can transfer your spot to somebody else who can participate and be on the camera. It has 3 stages. It has the quarterfinals, it has the semifinals, and then it has the finals, which means you have to write 3 tributes. You cannot repeat the ones you have. You can mix it up a little bit, but at least 50% of the old one must not be part of the new one. And again, what you have to win, the prize money is $150. So make sure if you've typed hashtag Roman Abramovich tribute in the chat, I'm going to do the draw in a bit. Let me check how many people already have there. And please, if you haven't, make sure to subscribe to the channel. That will go a long way. We've gained about, I think, around 35 subscribers today, but we can do even more because at the time we had 200 people watching. Yep, we've gained about 32 subscribers today, and we need to get more and more likes, please. So I'm going to start collecting and see how many we have here. We have just 7 people, so I'll give you more time also. What you need to type is hashtag Roman Abramovich tribute, just like this, what you're seeing on the screen like this, Roman Abramovich tribute, to participate. Now, if you're on the panel, you can also go type it in. Even if you don't want to participate, you can switch it to somebody you know that can participate and win $150. So I'm going to give you a minute or two to type what you see on the screen in the chat to get a chance to be picked. So Fahim, coming to you, your thoughts on us having just backups and starters and not all starters at the club.
Yeah, I agree with Andrew and DJ Sav.
Yeah, I always agree with them. Yeah, I know.
No, but if you, what I was about to say, City and Liverpool, if you want to reach to their level, you have to match their quality in every aspect. Right now, they've got players who, let's say, Cancelo or Kyle Walker, if one of them is out, anyone can fill in that role. Pep Guardiola has like 1 option or 2 options to fill in that role. But same with Liverpool. Like if Robertson's out, he has Shimikas, who's also very good for Liverpool. With us, our recruitment has been poor in the last 5-6 years, ever since Conte's appointment. Ever since we spent like Conte's second season, we spent like over 200 million on average players, and we still have them on our books. So that's the problem. Our recruitment has been very, very poor. And last summer, we only brought in Lukaku and Saul. That was not enough at all. We needed a wing back, definitely needed a wing back. The fact that we only had Ben Chilwell and Reece James, and the fact that Alonso wasn't the player maybe Tuchel wanted, we definitely needed wing backs. We needed midfielders as well. We loaned out Gallagher and Gilmore. Maybe we could have benefited if they had stayed, but at the same time, we do need a DM at the same, a player that can play at the 6 role, because Jorginho isn't a 6. We need a big opposing DM like a Tuchemeni or Declan Rice, whatever you want to say. But also the fact that we spent 200 million on the attack as well, like none of them have worked. Like only Havertz has worked, I would say, to an extent. Ziyech maybe. Lukaku hasn't worked. I mean, Werner hasn't worked. Like, it's just poor recruitment and poor strategy in our scouting department. I just think this summer is crucial to bring in the right profile of players that Tuchel wants, if he is to stay, and literally sell the players that we don't even need. So yeah, but for us to reach that level, to compete for City and Liverpool, 38 games in a season, you need to have. You can't just rely on 11 players. You need more than that. You need 15 players that can help. 16 players, 17.
All
City
starters.
have that. Liverpool have that.
Do you know how much we spent on the attack since 2019?
Yeah. It's
Sorry,
like
what did you say, Andrew?
Do you know how much we spent on the attack since 2019?
It's like
There's
400.
account Pulisic in that. So we spent nearly £320 million.
Holy tamale,
the attack.
320 million pounds.
Yeah.
We could have got Mbappe or Neymar for that.
Less than 3 years. That's on 5 players. That's on 5 players.
That is really disappointing. Let me breeze through the chat again. Fahim, you still talking?
Yeah, so I was just like saying that it's all down to the poor scouting, and this summer is crucial. It's so crucial because if we don't get in the right profiles this summer, we're not going to compete with Liverpool and Man City anywhere near in the next future.
Yeah. I'll come to you in a bit, Tyrone. Let me just breeze through the chat here. And this is Almighty Blues FC 85 watching and 65 likes. Do consider liking and subscribing to top channel. And yes, please do the same to Almighty Blues FC. He's become a brother over time. Great channel, great content, no clickbait. And that's why I love him as much as I love Fahim and Ty Talk CFC, 2 great content creators. Ty is young, but he understands football very well, especially from the perspective of Chelsea Football Club. So be sure to go check his channel. I know you will love his content, and the same with Almighty Blues FC. So Ty, your thoughts on us having a quickly so that I can run the draw and see who becomes a candidate for the day. It looks like we've lost a Ty, so I'm going to quickly run the draw. Nick, you want to say something? Sorry.
Well, everyone said everything. You know, that's why we're not challenging for the league. We had a backup for the Chilwell, James. You know, we could have win this league this year, really, because you know, we lost. You know, because they got injured. Then we had the COVID situation. You know, everything went against us. Yeah, I'm hoping the new owner puts money where we need it. Another midfield player, and bring back Gallagher and Gilmore, Broja, bring these players back. And we need someone special, like we have like Fabregas. We need someone like that because County ain't gonna last forever. So we need someone special in the middle. And the attack, Havertz is good. Lukaku, we don't know. We're still giving him time. I'm giving him to the rest of the season. If he plays more games, we don't know. So it's very hard at the moment. So we know the new owner, we won't have a clue what's going to happen. So we have to wait.
Okay.
Be patient.
Yeah. Great point right there. So I'm ready to do the draw right now. Just Viola, please take notes. Let's see who will become the third contestant. Because contestant number 1 was TC. Is TC contestant number 2 Tobago, and let's see who becomes today the third contestant. We need 8 contestants. Okay, now, no, I'm gonna rerun it. I'm sorry.
You won. You won, coach.
It is funny indeed. And just
It's
Viola,
rigged. It's rigged.
I expected you to
It's
delete my comment. I expected you to delete my comment, just Viola, and you left it there. Okay,
This is FIFA corruption.
This is hilarious. Just look at, they're laughing here. Look at what's his name? Frezo is laughing really hard there. Anyway, congratulations to you, Olupaul. You get a chance to win $150, and remember, you must be on camera. And if you want to, you can transfer your spots to someone else if you don't want to, and if you don't want to be on camera. And also, I'll send you just send me something via Twitter, and I'll send you the rules for the contest. First, there are 3 stages. The quarterfinals involving 8 individuals. 4 will emerge for the semifinals, and then 2 for the finals. So you have to write 3 tributes to Roman Abramovich, and that will be presented the final will be the day after the new owners of the club is announced. But other stages of the contest will take place before that time. So congratulations to you again. And yeah, just Viola, thank you for disgracing me in the public. You're there in the chat. You didn't delete my type in there, but that's fine. Now let's go to the defense. I'll start with you, Andrew. Your thoughts on the performance of the defense. Is Andrew gone? Sorry. I can't see anybody there. Are we still there?
Andrew's having a
sorry. Hello.
technical.
Sorry about that. Sorry, technical issues.
Wait,
Yesterday's
coach
performance, yeah? Yesterday's performance? Is that what he said? Is he gone? Where's he gone?
He disappeared.
He disappeared.
Yeah, it looks like he got cut off. He got cut off, I think.
Oh, he got cut. Did he say about yesterday's performance? Sorry.
Yeah, the defense. The defense.
Yeah.
Defense.
Yeah.
That was well, starting Aspie at left wing back. My God. That was a mistake to begin with, because he's always going to have to cut back on his right. So it stops the momentum of any attack. So he has to cut back on his right. Christensen got, I don't know what he was doing yesterday. Maybe his head is now gone. He's in Barcelona, so he doesn't care. But the issue is that because we didn't play the same tactics we did yesterday, we got overrun. We should have played 3 in the midfield to protect the defense, and we were just so open. I've never seen us that open under Tuchel before, apart from obviously Brentford. But like 2 games in a row, I've never seen us that open before. Usually it'd be a lot tighter. The defense was not protected yesterday, and like I said, start Aspie. I think Nick Blue's right. As much as I bag on Alonso, I think he should have started yesterday, and Aspie should have started at right centre back. I really do. But yeah, they were very much exposed yesterday. Not very good. I thought second half Real Madrid really didn't do anything apart from that 3rd goal they scored, because they didn't have to. But yeah, the first half they really got ripped to shreds. It was not a great performance whatsoever, and that's what Tuchel has based his side on for the past 15 months, is defence. We conceded 7 goals in 2 games. It's madness. But yeah, the defensive display yesterday was not very good that first half at all.
Yeah,
Mendy made the mistake, and Mendy capped it off by making a mistake. So
yeah, it was a shambolic defending yesterday, especially the second goal. How Benzema got the chance between Andreas Christensen and Thiago Silva is something I cannot understand. I know you've talked about that before, Fahim. I don't know, DJ, have you talked about that yourself?
Yeah, I just said earlier on that with the Christensen thing, when you got someone like Vinicius up against you, I mean, that should have told you straight away. It's just not good. It's just a match. It's just going to be. It's not even a match. It's just Vinicius was just always going to cook him like he did, and and it showed. I think again, like we've said along, yesterday was on Tuchel with some of the stuff he did do yesterday. I'm not one for usually blaming our manager for things, because I think he's been brilliant since he's come in. But you have to ask the question about Brentford's game and this game yesterday with the team selection he did do. Now, I will admit one thing. I did go on a few streams asking for Aspie to go at Alonso's side, on the left-hand side, to be honest with you, because of the way Alonso played against Brentford. Maybe that's all on me now, because it obviously backfired because obviously the way he played yesterday in terms of obviously wanting to play in that position, but it backfired on him yesterday, and you could see it wasn't working. But yeah, I will say, just generally the defensive, they're just areas that you just don't expect from Chelsea since Tuchel's been there. I mean, when do you ever see the likes of Rudiger, even Silva, switching off for seconds that they did? I just felt they were all over the place again yesterday. And to be fair, they didn't get really. I didn't think they really got any support from the midfield to help them out when they were in trouble. That was another thing, because the midfield was so open, and that's why Madrid were enjoying their attacks yesterday and getting their joy out of it all. And that one time when Carvajal almost scored out of nothing. That move he did coming inside, and he did that. He almost scored a pass across, and he crossed the ball into the box.
He showed great awareness there.
He did.
Because if he had given up, he wouldn't get that ball. Because for him to go past that, I think, who was it again?
He basically took the ball from his position through the midfield and then took it to the other side and then crossed it into the box. And I'm thinking, God, man, how he's got that space to even do that, I do not know. But this is how we were playing our game yesterday. It wasn't great at all. And he was allowed to do that yesterday, which was even more scary, But look, we all know the defensive wasn't great yesterday. But yeah, I'm not going to give the defense was not great at all.
Okay, I think you make a great argument. Let's talk about the possible reason why the defense was shambolic yesterday.
Yeah.
Because Real Madrid, they operated in the midfield area with impunity. We couldn't do anything. Jorginho, whereas somebody would come and argue, and I'm one of those that usually argue he's important, he's pivotal to the way we play due to his ability to help us control games. And I thought that game yesterday, we needed to control the game. But I didn't think it was a good idea. Even Kante himself, usually whenever he's on the pitch, Jorginho does better. Didn't help matters because he himself didn't really do well in the midfield. I think tactically, yesterday we could argue that Carlo Ancelotti outsmarted Thomas Tuchel, honestly, because we couldn't stop them. We couldn't stop them. Every time they had a free man waiting for the ball on the pitch, no matter how hard we press them or how aggressively we press them, they've had somebody free to get at the ball. So let's start. I'd argue that one of the biggest issues we had yesterday, why our defense was exposed, was that because that is the Madrid midfield, they operated with impunity. We couldn't stop them. They played quite well. They played the way they wanted to play. I think that's the reason, because the fact is, when you get to a defense 10 times, at least five times out of those 10 times, you get a chance to have a go at the goalpost. I want to ask you, Ty, your thoughts on the fact that I'd say the problem started from the midfield. I think Ty isn't there, but let me come to you, Fahim. Your thoughts on my argument that the problem started from the midfield. Did I lose everybody, or maybe I'm having an issue on my end? I'm not sure. DJ, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I think we've lost Fahim and Ty.
I'm just going to head off, Fedez, but thank you for having me on today. I do appreciate it.
Okay, all right, bro. All right, see you next
time.
Big up, Andrew.
Big up to you, bro. Big up.
Have wonderful days. Be safe.
Yeah, take care.
You too. Sorry, I didn't see your message on time. Sorry, Andrew. No, see you next time. Yeah.
So don't worry.
All right, no problem. Also, I'll come to you next, Matt. Matt, your thoughts, my argument that our issue started from the midfield because Real Madrid operated with impunity in the midfield area, and that's their biggest strength. If you allow them to play well in the midfield, they will deal with you. You can argue Vinicius Junior and the other guy on the right-hand side, but the fact is about Real Madrid that everything starts from the midfield. And if you look at the second goal, that is the ball into the box from Modric, was from the midfield also, and nobody was there to stop him. And even the first goal Nobody traced the run of Benzema from our midfield. That's what Kante usually does. Your thoughts, Matt?
I mean, I don't know why you wanted me on today, Coachella, and we're going to get to that soon. I don't know if you've already spoke about it, but Andrew running as soon as I'm here because he knows I'm going to drop facts on the stream. Now, a big up, Andrew. Hope you're well there. But yeah, I mean, the midfield there, when you've got a midfield like Kroos, Modric, and the other useless guy, I mean, Modric and Kroos together, I mean, when they're on their day, sorry, not Modric, and Casemiro, so that's the last one, Casemiro as well. If they're all together, it's going to be an outstanding midfield. And we did lose, and again, it's that word that I used last time against Brentford, and it's the reason why we lost again today, was the fact that we just went to sleep when they were pressed, and the AKA is that it's transitioning. Last 2 games, our transition has been horrible. We just shut off in our midfield, and I'm not blaming the midfield because I don't think it was midfield's fault. I think it was a team effort. People try to, targetly, individually blame Jorginho, individually blame just Jorginho for our midfield problems. But when they scored those first 2 goals, it wasn't revolving our midfield. Our attackers lost the ball in the first place, and then it technically went to one side either way. But Madrid's midfielder, when they're in form and when they were pressing us, we could see we couldn't get past in that last 10 minutes when we were trying to, give it to Reece so Reece can pop a cross in. They were just sitting back, parking the bus, and they had Denis Ceballos on out of everyone. So they really did show up today. Today, yeah. And I was actually going into the game. I was very scared of Benzema, but obviously their midfield, because as I said, when it's their day, they do turn up, and they did.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he shouldn't have started. I'd rather give Trevor Chalobah the chance, given the fact that it's clear that he's going to leave us. So you think, you didn't tell me whether you agree or not, the problem with our defense started from the midfield because our midfielders didn't protect them very well.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, we play a 3 and then a 5. Like, we don't need our midfielders.
And we played 2 6s.
Yeah, we played 2 6s. So we don't, in a sense, don't need our midfielders to protect our defense in to an extent. If we have them protecting 24/7, we're going to have 3 players up front. That's not how it works. When we got protecting them, we've got 3 at the back. Sometimes we've got Jorginho slightly covering, but he's not protecting them in a sense. He is focusing on transitioning the ball from the back to the front or from the defense to the midfield. He's not there to protect. 6s are there to protect in a such where they would receive the ball and gain more possession. They're not here to just stand in front of the defense. The defense and sit down and have a coffee. No. The defense job is to defend, and the midfielders and the 6 job is to regain possession and regain the ball from the defense if they don't get it in time. So I wouldn't call it what was the word? I just went brain fart just
protection.
Now. Protection. Yeah, like I wouldn't say he protects them. We didn't need protection in that sense because we do play very defensive. So we can have 1 up, 1 back, and Kante and Jorginho swap it at times. But majority of the time, it's Jorginho who sits back. But he's not. His job is not to protect.
Yes, I love you, but I disagree with you on that aspect. That if our opponents operate in the midfield with impunity and there is no sort of resistance, any measure of resistance from our midfielders, they will get our defense 10 times, and 9 times out of 10 times. Yeah.
Coach, just let me just relay. I didn't say that the 6s don't protect the defenders, but it's not like that's their main job. It's not their main role to protect. And your question was, did we lack protection? I would say no, because majority of the goals was just from minor mistakes and our defenders not being good enough.
But our midfielders not supporting, not defending from the midfield, because they easily, the moment, remember the first goal or the second goal, we lost the ball in their box.
Yeah.
But our midfielders couldn't stop them from getting to our own half as quickly as they did. They operated, even the second goal, you could see how it was orchestrated. Modric, all he needs is just 5 seconds.
I agree. Because
you get them that.
It kind of, the second goal, I rewatched and I was like, we're kind of like headless chickens. Like, you will see, and I blame Jorginho on this one, but he was just like moving his head 24/7 because he didn't know where to stand and where to go because everyone was all over the place. Like, that goal was a whole team effort. Like, we can't individually kind of blame anyone. Obviously, we can, say this could have done better, but that second goal was a massive team goal. Everyone was shit there because we were just running like headless chickens.
Yeah, let me bring you into the fight we'll be fighting.
Coach, I need to make tracks here.
Yeah. Go ahead. I was going to be the one to bring it. But let me beg you, Matt.
I'll be here.
Matt,
I'm joking.
Okay, Matt, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I know
I
you're
know
gonna
this,
get
man.
pissed by the time we start talking about the next. I want to bring you into a fight we've already started fighting for.
Oh,
But please,
I've had about 13, 14
okay, but
today.
please, I'm gonna beg you. Let's watch the language because it can restrict monetization.
Of course.
Okay, thank you. I know you're a good brother here. DJ, you want to start? You can go ahead if you want to be the one to ask him the question.
No. I think I've answered my points on the Kepa situation.
Okay,
I'm
Andrew
gonna
was
allow
here,
Matt-
and
I'm
I
gonna
just
allow
wish
Matt.
Andrew. Okay, I wish Andrew was still here because
I
the
wish he was
argument
here as
is
well.
that since this is not me saying that Mendy is a bad goalkeeper, by the way. I hope everybody understands. And before I continue, please take some time, go check out Matt's new channel, Zivoli. Great channel, great content. I think you will enjoy his content. And please go try it out. If you like it, make sure to subscribe and let him know in the comment section that I sent you. I think he'd appreciate that to help him
Of
grow
course.
because he's a great individual. So now, Matt, here's the 10. Mendy after that 2 errors against West Ham United. There's hardly a game he's played ever since. And that's why I wanted Andrew to be here because Andrew argued otherwise. There's hardly a game Mendy has played for us ever since that he hasn't made at least one mistake, one serious mistake that could have led to a goal. But we've been lucky. Either the opponent misses or our defenders are there to help. Your thoughts?
I mean, firstly, I say this every time. I don't hate Mendy. Remember, Coach Hill, me and you made a video like 6 months ago outlining Mendy.
His
and you know
profile
how much
video.
I praised him. Yeah, profile. And I love Mendy. And I'm not saying that he's a bad keeper, but when we're in these type of games, and I've said this like 60 times today already, but when we're in these type of games where Mendy, he's came back from AFCON, he's mentally drained, he's physically drained, we have a class keeper on the bench. Now, I think Kepa should have started against Brentford, but he didn't. The consequence of him not starting Brentford is that he should be starting Madrid, right? And I said, if Mendy starts against Madrid, we're going to be getting 4-5 against us because he's not going to be physically and mentally prepared, right? And you look at the game, you look at him today, right? Majority of the times and majority of the mistakes he made were just lack of concentration. The second goal, right? When he was going for the dive, you could see in his eyes that he is tired, he's mentally drained. He was so slow to react to that. Normally he's quicker. And then obviously the third goal, we know how bad he is in that. But I don't like to slash on Mendy because I think Mendy's a fantastic keeper. People think I like to just hate on him. I'm not going to talk about his previous instances because obviously, some guy he's going to send me a thread. And I'm like, don't send me the thread. I don't want to bash Mendy. I don't care. I want to point him out when he does these type of games. Like we point out Kepa. No one points out Kepa for these games. And, obviously I went on the terrace. I went on pretty much every Chelsea channel. And no one seemed to say, hang on, maybe if we did start Kepa, it would have been 2-0. Or maybe it would have been 1-0. They would have gone, no, we would have considered 5-6. Physically, we can't score 5-6. They had 5 shots on target. 3 of them went in the back of the net. 1 of them was Mendy's mistake. And then 2 of the extra shots went right to Mendy. So, theoretically speaking, if Kepa started, it would have 100% been either 1 or 2-0. And you can't change my mind on that. The stats just show it. Like, you can't prove me wrong on that. Now, am I saying
because
that...
first of all, he wouldn't make that mistake.
He wouldn't. He would have made... but he would have made other mistakes. And I go, what? Well, Cruz and Casemiro would just shoot at the box. No, they wouldn't, because we used this theory last year when we go, Kepa can't save up for long shots. He did that in the FA Cup, and then he did that in the Carabao Cup. He did it every single time. Remember when he made that amazing save Southampton? I think it was Armstrong or Ward-Prowse when they made it outside the boot, and then went top right, and Kepa just jumped to it. And people don't want to say that because they always want to just point and pick at Kepa just because he's an easy target. He's 80 million. No one supports him, but realistically, he's a fantastic keeper. I'm not saying to replace him with Mendy, but I'm saying to rotate him with Mendy. There's a difference between that.
Yeah, there's a huge difference, and I don't understand the argument. I think DJ made that argument too. That I think DJ, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't mean to misquote you.
No, please do.
You argued that that Kepa he struggles keeping away long shots, and I counter argued by letting you know. Remember when he newly arrived, every team was trying shots from outside the 18. And hardly I think it was just 2, 3, or 1 went in there. I think it was Daniel Sturridge or who. I don't remember who it was, but he stopped quite a lot of them, even at the 90th angle. at the 90th angle, he was that good. I think Kepa's issue started with the treatment of Frank Lampard when he had a slump in form. Frank did not handle it well. And again, I'm going to argue this. Under Thomas Tuchel, Kepa has actually been our best goalkeeper. But before I want to ask you the next question, Matt, do you agree with DJ's argument that he can't stop long shots?
I 100% disagree. If it's anything, I think Ty said it today. Someone said it, and the only thing I agree with his weakness is that he is emotionally supportive with his actions. And I agree to the standpoint when if he will miss a save and he'll let a goal in, he'll immediately put his head down. But if he makes 3-4 saves, he's going to be through the roof. So he's emotionally supports the way he plays. And I don't remember who said that. I want to give credit to whoever said that because that was a fantastic point there. But obviously, again, like in the chat, someone said like Mendy ain't good. If Kepa was on, he would have scored 6 goals. Well, from what evidence there? But back to obviously DJ's point, I don't see him being a keeper where people be like, oh yeah, let's just shoot from the box and inshallah because it's only Kepa. You know, I don't see that anymore. He's a changed man. Obviously, Fat Frank, you know, emotionally drained him. And you know, DJ was speaking about this on the green turf. We're speaking about this with Orgs, you know, with me, you, DJ, I was saying that.
Honestly, so long as it's not beyond this level, I'm all for any names that, even if you call him Judas, I take it because I think he denied us.
No, bro, it's the way it came out.
Me and DJ were speaking with Orgs. Last night for that, and I was saying that the reason why Kepa's back in this is because of his girlfriend, and big props to her because she emotionally got him back to form. Same with Tuchel, you know, obviously he was going through a lot of mental issues, but people didn't point that out. So another reason, now he's back on track. Now going in the future, I would start Mendy against Madrid, right? But I would start Kepa against Palace and Southampton. That's it.
Yeah, good argument. But let me ask you this, because we want to bring you up to par to where we were before we maybe talk about something else in a few minutes and round up because we've been streaming for 2 hours and 11 minutes. Usually we go 3 hours when this discussion is about the sale of the club. Let me ask you this. Andrew argued otherwise also. That's why I was hoping he stays. Do you think Mendy, I think his problem, if you ask me subconsciously, he knows he doesn't have competition. Because that's what Tuchel makes it feels like. Tuchel has made it to him, clear to him, you're the number one. And no matter what Kepa Arrizabalaga does, you're the big game player for us. He's the cup player for us. And when he gets to the final of a cup game, you're the one that we want, that is going to be between the sticks. Don't you think that alone will make him to start underperforming because he doesn't have no competition?
I mean, I think at the back of his head, he'll always be like, if I do drop very below standard, then I will get replaced. But you're right. I remember when it was the World Cup final that Mendy was saying, why didn't Kepa start? Like, you know, why isn't he starting? Like, this is a disappointment. This gives Mendy more of an ego. And ever since then, he's been dropping off form. So you are right to the point that he doesn't have competition. That if Kepa was, you know, competing with him, like we would have assumed, Kepa's playing well in this, that, they will compete. So that can be definitely reason. But I think majority of it is sometimes I'm not even going to say anything else because I do agree with that because I don't think he has any weaknesses to a standpoint, obviously on his feet, but that's just who he is. Like, that's a massive, massive problem. Kepa doesn't have this massive problem where he's bad on his feet. He doesn't have this major issue. Being bad on your feet is a massive, massive major issue. And we just saw it today. Like, I don't know. There's no more I can say that can convince, you know, these people because they just got selective hearing. They'll listen to one, you know, goes through 1 year and then goes back out the same year. So you can't really say too much because, again, like, I'll give reasons why. I just said before why he doesn't have his weakness is a long shot, and then people will just say, yeah, true, Kepa's weakness is a long shot, but they don't give any evidence to it. You know, so I agree with people saying that, but like you got to back it up. Like when I say that, he does save long shots now because we saw in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup final how many times he saved long shots. If that was Mendy, you know, missed a long shot like Yarmolenko, not Yarmolenko, I don't know, the West Ham one. That was a long shot. That was from the corner flag and he missed it. If that was Kepa, he'll be walking off to Lazio by now. So there's double standards with Mendy and Kepa.
There is really double standard. And the argument I got then, even from my brother and friend, Taron Sachdiva, was that it's sentiment. Even I think I argued that with my other brother Oggs. It said it was sentiment to start Kepa Arrizabalaga over Mendy in the Club World Cup final and the Carabao Cup final. But to me, no, it wasn't sentiment because he was there in the absence of Edouard Mendy and he didn't put a foot wrong. But that's, by the way, that's another argument for another day. The question now is, DJ, I'm coming to you. Do you agree that we need a goalkeeper? If you say yes, why and what goalkeeper? Do you have any goalkeeper in mind?
Yeah. Can I just say one thing?
Yes, go ahead, brother.
You guys are just chatting about egos, right? I for one don't think, for the life of me, you can refer to Mendy as having an ego. Yeah, I'd probably say he's probably the least players.
And I have to clear myself. It was Matt that used the word ego, not me.
Because even Conte has an ego. Even Conte has an ego at times. No, but everyone has an ego. They just don't portray it.
They probably don't portray it, but I don't think they're going to be one for. I don't think Mendy's the type of guy though who debate or argue. Oh, I'm going to be I'm number one, yeah. So it doesn't matter whatever happens here. I'm going to get the number one shot. I don't think he's one of those kind of guys personally, right? If you look at how he's come into goalkeeping, and if you look at if you know what happened with Mendy, how he got to this stage of his life, I don't think for one, I can't see this guy being one of them kind of guys who would be going in there saying, I'm your number one. If anything, he's actually thanked himself for being in this situation, all the hard work and dedication that he's put in, and all the people that have believed him to get him where he's got to this day. And he's become excellent for that. Yeah, and you got to give credit to people like that. I'm not saying, if anything, I used to always think that maybe Kepa to some degree had a bit of an arrogance about him, had a bit of an ego, in the very beginning, you could tell. I mean, you could tell when he refused to come off in the cup final under Sarri. Yeah, that was the main evidence. You could see the guy's got look. I'm not saying Kepa's a bad goalkeeper. When I refer to him having long shot against him, I've just seen it happen. I mean, look at the goal that Kevin De Bruyne scored recently against us. Okay, it wasn't a long shot. It's the way he beat him at that far side. I'm thinking, had that been Mendy in the goal, I don't think that would have gone in the back of the net. I think he'd have fingertipped that around the post. Just like yesterday, when he scored that second goal, Benzema, everyone was saying, Kepa would have saved that. I don't think he would have, because if you actually see the way the goal went in, Mendy was that full stretch and he still couldn't tip it around the post. Okay, and I think that would have gone in the back of the net, even Kepa had been in the goal anyway. The header yesterday, the first header, again, you can probably say, well, would he have been beaten? But you got to also not take away anything from the finishes from Benzema, because there were class finishes yesterday. I mean, especially I thought the second goal was excellent. And the other thing I also want to say is, let's not take anything away from Real Madrid yesterday. They played absolutely brilliant and deserved the win. They out-taught us and outplayed us yesterday. Yeah, credit where credit is due. Yeah, but in terms of this whole thing with Kepa, look, my worry with Kepa has always been, and I've always said it, is I always still fear that every time the ball goes anywhere near the box, you got the defenders are looking and they're worried, that he's not going to do what he should be doing. Okay, I still think there's not that. Okay, he might have improved on that. Okay, but I still think there's a bit of a danger with him where if he's coming for a ball, he won't come for the ball and he'll just leave for the defense to clear it, and then it could cause a problem, or someone will go and score a goal. That's my only fear with Kepa. All right, I don't think he's a bad goalkeeper, and I've never used the 70 million price tag on him to say, the guy's 70 million pounds, he should be better than that. I've never said that at all. It's not his fault that we bought him for 70 million pounds. Yeah, it's the way it all happened with the snake Courtois, why this all happened. Yeah, and we just needed a goalkeeper, and at the time he was the best there to go and get. So I'm not debating that. I've never debated the price on him at all when we got him. Yeah, I just think that he has got, and so does Mendy. We saw that yesterday. They have things in their game where they make mistakes. I just think he's more prone to mistakes than Mendy is, and that's all I'm basically saying out of the two goalkeepers. I'm not knocking him. I'm not saying he's crap or nothing, because I'll never disarray any of my players until they leave the football club. Even though I might not Lukaku and Werner as I do, but they're still my players. They still play for my club, and I'll back them to the end. Yeah, and that's what I'll still do till the end with Kepa. So I've got nothing against any of them. I just think he does have that odd clanger in him, and he's easily beaten on his far post than Mendy is, because Mendy is big, he's tall, he can catch things on either way, and he's more how would I say, he's more defiant, he's more, he's more protective in his box than he is. because he comes almost for everything, whereas Kepa sometimes doesn't. And that is my only thing with Kepa. Come for a free kick, for example. The reason why I said yesterday, okay, he may start a game against Southampton, and I hope he does because Mendy may need that rest. Ward-Prowse gets a free kick against him. That ball, I'm sorry, 9 out of 10 times that ball's hitting the back of the net. Because I don't think he would get to it. And that's my only concern with him. That is all it is. I've got nothing against him. All right. Okay. But then Ward-Prowse has scored against world-class goalkeeper, against other goalkeepers as well. So you could say that argument can come back at me and say, well, he could do it against Edison. He could do it against anybody. I get that. He could do that. But it's more because of the way Kepa, I guess, because he doesn't, for me, he's not as much defiant in the box as Mendy is. Whereas Mendy actually grabs things, he gets things, he's more in people's faces. Whereas Kepa, I don't think is. He has to be told thousands of times, Kepa, by the defenders or whatever it might be. And that's my only concern with him. Otherwise, I've got nothing against him.
Yeah, you make a great point. Let me quickly breeze through the chat, and I'll let you know. I think we should just switch to the next topic. Let's forget about talking about whether we need a goalkeeper or not. I just decided that would be a topic for another day.
No.
And this is Melissa Castillo saying, and I defend my club when someone insults me. Is it wrong? Because they timed her out. As long as she doesn't insult anybody, I think I love Melissa Castillo, and we even had a vote the other day whether to make her a mod in here, but unfortunately, slightly she didn't cross the line. But I think I'll make her a mod someday. I'll keep watching her. I think she's a lovely person, from what I've learned. But no insults. Try to keep it as clean as possible. The truth is, she provides value to the stream also by being there, and she contributes she has some great inputs too. So Melissa, just try to keep it as clean as possible so that they don't time you out. But I'll see what I can do. I'll see you on Tuesday. This is okay between DJ Steve Chelsea. Nice to see you here. I know you've been here for long. And this is to the queen of the house, Just Viola. Stop blaming Courtois, blame Marina for not going for a goalkeeper. You could argue that. Reece James is still coming back from injury, but he was good yesterday, but they're not 100%. You can see he should have been there to stop what's his name? Vinny Jr. from crossing that first game, but I wouldn't blame him either for the whole process. I think we were outplayed in that circumstance. Let me see here, and this is also please don't time me out just because I'm an Arsenal fan. No, that's not what they're doing. I think you must have had a fight with one of the mods there. I know, and believe me, you're welcome here anytime, any day. And soon, sometime in the future, we'll start a channel that will be for every fan. And believe me, you'll be part of it. Steve, okay, that's by the way. Let's talk about Romelu Lukaku. I'll start with you, Matt. What are we gonna do with that guy?
Oh my God.
He's done. I mean, but what I don't know what minute it was, but it was like the last 5 minutes where he comes and like he headers it, and I was like, oh my God. Then I remember it's Lukaku, and then it just like goes absolutely nowhere. Like I'm just thinking he's Benzema or some shit. It's embarrassing, and I mean, what do we do with him? I think we continue what we do with him now. We just play him, sometimes play him against FA Cup game, rubbish games. But we have to take a loss. We're gonna admit we've taken a loss. We've lost profit. We're gonna lose a lot of money on him. But as soon as the summer comes, if anyone's interested in him, £5-10, whatever, just get him rid of him. He's a waste of space. He's a waste of wages. I would rather have him out of the pitch, and not have another dead wood in the pitch. I'm sick of him. Werner, Lukaku needs to go. But what can we do with him, man? Like again, I've just said what we can do with him, but I'm still like confused because there's so many options we can do with him. But can he perform? I don't know. We've given Werner 3 years. Do we give Lukaku more time? I don't know.
Yeah, your thoughts, DJ. What can we do? Because it's not easy to get rid of him. And right now it looks like his mind is elsewhere. And given the, I'm not sure what the remote... because we started talking about Lukaku. DJ, you get my point. He's too expensive. He's 29 right now, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's the price we paid for him. And again, you can call that another bad club signing by whoever. Everyone was saying it was Roman who wanted him at the football club at the time. But for that kind of money, I don't think he was worth it. I know we missed out on Erling Haaland, who was our number one target last season. But I, like many Chelsea fans, thought, okay, if we can't get Erling Haaland in, leave the money for this season, okay, and then go after another striker. We don't need to bring Lukaku in, because everyone was telling me, you're going to get the Lukaku who's now improved in his game. He holds up play, he scores goals, he gets everyone into play. Yeah, he did that all at Inter Milan. Comes to Chelsea, gets a second spell at Chelsea, thinking, okay, you're a Chelsea fan. You're going to come in here now. You're going to start, performing as you should be performing. First couple of games, he scores. We're thinking, yep, have we got our Lukaku back? Then he goes and does that stupid interview, which was uncalled for, totally. All right, which I think a lot of Chelsea fans cannot forgive him for, and I can understand that. Okay, then you're thinking, okay, Thomas Tuchel's dropped you for that now. You learn your lesson from that. You've done the interview. You've been dropped. You come back, okay, and he gets him back into the team. I do believe he comes back. He then scores a goal, I think, against Tottenham in the Carling Cup or the League Cup. Okay, he scores the goal. I'm thinking, is it all been forgotten about? And then it's the same old situation with him. Doesn't seem to want to be there. I don't think he cares. For me, look, as I said, I'll back him until the end because he's our player, and I'll continue to back our players regardless of the form that they're in. And we've got him there till the end of the season, and we have to see. We've still got competitions to play, and we've got to hope and pray that he has to come alive. And I mean, Real Madrid was a prime example yesterday. If no player, and I'm not just talking about Lukaku, if no player can be up for Real Madrid, then you're asking, what the hell are you doing at our football club if you can't be up for Real Madrid? I mean, yesterday he had 2 opportunities to score with those headers, and what does he go and do? Flaps them. Had that been Giroud now in our team, those goals go in the back of the net.
Yep.
There's 2 chances.
Yep. I think that's a good argument, because here's the thing: the most surprising aspect. I think everybody is beginning to change their tone. Even those that were clamoring, let's support him. Let the fans will be, start singing his name in the stadium. That's my other brother, Showtime, will argue that. Start singing his name, and that will help him score goals. And all those arguments, even some content creators wanted us to keep supporting him. They are starting to see that signing Lukaku was indeed a big mistake, not because he's a bad player, but just it's simple. He doesn't suit the way we play. Because what the heck was just, you pay 100 million plus for a striker. Yes, he came from the bench, but 2 good chances yesterday, if you ask me. He should have had 2 goals.
Yeah.
And the worst part is the moment.
Right now.
Exactly. The moment the ball comes to Lukaku in the air, it takes him 5 minutes to get it under control. Not one time. That's embarrassing. And the question, is there a way to get this thing to work? I'm not sure if that's a way, but let me quickly go through the chat. We have Steve Justice here saying, no, Lukaku is not done yet. Need playing time and enough ball. You think so? It's a familiar story already with the story of what's his name, Alvaro Morata, and all this, the struggle at the club. So I don't understand.
Hudson-Odoi, Loftus-Cheek.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Terry Booker says, hi, I'm new to the channel. Terry, welcome to the channel. I hope you subscribe. And I hope you have also liked the video. Feel at home here and let us know how you feel about the situation. And he says, I am going to sub. Oh, thank you very much. That's good news. Please do sub, and you're welcome. And I don't know why people in the chat, you should say welcome to Terry. He's new here, and we should always welcome newcomers. So, Tobago, you're here for the fight. Tell me how you're going to defend Lukaku now.
First of all, we need to stop comparing Lukaku with Benzema, Harry Kane, Lewandowski. That's it.
Because Lukaku, they're better, right? They're better.
Yes, they are better. Lukaku.
You're a nice. God bless you. You're a good guy. Honestly, I appreciate that.
Lukaku haven't started any games. So many games yet. Havertz has been our favorite man. Yes, I like that. Lukaku lacks confidence. You can see the guy lacks confidence. So yesterday he came in, he missed those chances. Right. Mount missed 2 chances against Liverpool. No one's calling him off.
Agreed.
They defended Mount because he's young. Even Kai Havertz, last game against Brentford, he missed so chances. No one blamed him because he's young. Now Lukaku missed the chances. They blame him. No, this is wrong. You should stop this.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference. Tobago, I'm happy you're an African, right? And I know in South Africa they do a lot of butt whooping to kids who misbehave, right? Let me ask you this. There is something a 5-year-old would do. And you say, okay, he's still a kid or she's still a kid. Just leave him. But when an adult does it, you will know it's not a mistake. That adult can't change this. How many times, even against Juventus? Yes, we forgive Kai Havertz because he's younger, or Mason Mount because he's younger. But Lukaku is approaching 30 for Christ's sake, and we paid how much? 100+ million. Is it pounds or dollars? But whatever it is, you cannot protect him forever. And I'm happy and I'm glad for you. The first thing you said, we should start comparing him to those guys because they are different. Can you look at this? Let me just show you this, Tobago. Look at this. Down here, you see Benzema here for his own goal. Look at that. Look at Lukaku. Look at the space here. This wasn't manufactured. This is actually the scenario. It is no excuse. I know people who's been protecting him as much as you do, but now they're beginning to realize that, no, I think this is, it's bad, really. And probably because, it's not because he's a bad player, probably because at this point it looks like his mind is set on going back to Inter Milan, given the interview on what else. Go ahead, Tobago. You there?
Tobago.
You want to come in? I don't know if Tobago is still there.
Tobago, you there?
I think he's not there. Go ahead, Matt. You want to say anything?
Yeah, I mean, him at Inter Milan, it's just like Tammy at Roma. Like, it's obviously an easier league, but when you're missing headers like that, like, that just means you're just a bad player in general. The system fits you my ass. You're playing this, that. It's just because you're bad. Like, it's really embarrassing. Obviously, look, we compare Benzema and Lukaku, and Lukaku is a more expensive striker than Benzema, Harry Kane, all of them put together, if you really look at it. So, I think he's overall just a really bad player. How are we going to fix him? I don't think we can. I think he's like a glass. You step on it, you can't repair it. He's just broken at the moment, and I don't think he's fixable.
I think the only reset approach will be for him to join some other club, and then it will be helpful for him because it won't help us. But the fact is, his salary at this point, I think Fresno said it here, 325 K a week, and that's in pounds. But the fact is that the way I don't agree with this is that it was never Marina's fault. Marina is just a negotiator. Say you want this person, Marina isn't the scout, Marina isn't the board. All she does is negotiate how much Chelsea can pay for that player. And because Chelsea really wanted a striker, and probably because Romano really wanted Lukaku, she had to do something to get Lukaku in. And they wanted actually to appease, if you ask me, should I use the word appease, Thomas Tuchel. But go ahead, Matt. Were you saying something, or should I go to DJ?
No, go DJ.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I just want to tell Tobago, listen, any of my players that don't score goals, okay, and I'm talking about players like Havertz, I'm talking about players like Werner, Mount, any players that miss open goals like he did yesterday, I would come down on any of them. It's not just because it's a Lukaku agenda. Any player that's wearing that shirt, because I want to see them put on that shirt and go and do what they should be doing. Okay, we saw that with Timo Werner last season. Everyone knows here, and Matt and you guys would know, I was a massive advocate for Timo Werner last season, right? Okay, and basically, I said to myself, when he started playing the way he carried on the same form as he did last year, I thought to myself, is this guy really going to work out at Chelsea? Lukaku's the reason why I put Lukaku slightly different into the agenda, because Lukaku's actually played in the Premiership before, whereas Werner has never played in the Premiership. We saw him scoring goals for Manchester United when he was there. He was scoring goals for Everton when he was on loan, West Bromwich Albion. I can name those 3 clubs where he was banging in goals and he was scoring goals. When he went to Italy, he became a better player. And I thought when we were bringing him back to Chelsea, and the fact that I wanted him to do so well, and in fact, when we first signed Lukaku, I do believe, when he first came over to Stamford Bridge on a school trip, and he says he wants to go and play at that pitch, and his idol was Didier Drogba. I thought we were getting a sensation because that guy was really, really smashing it in his league, and I thought he was going to come to Chelsea and he was going to be doing the same thing again. He didn't get the opportunity to do that, unfortunately, because Villas-Boas decided that you're not good enough, got rid of him, loaned him out a few times, and he went off finally. Okay, and then obviously I think Jose Mourinho, I think he missed that one opportunity. I think it was the penalty kick he missed when he came back, and then that was it. He was gone again. Yeah, so look, I've got nothing against Lukaku. I want him to do really, really well. But from what we've seen of him since he's put the Chelsea shot, and he scored some goals already, but he's also missed some sitters as well. Like Werner has missed. And when he said, when Mount missed those 2 chances, I remember those 2 chances Mount missed, and I was on him big time. I'm thinking, this guy needs a rest. He needs to get out of the team for a little while because he's clearly his mind is not at it.
Yeah.
So any player that's not doing it, I don't care who you are, whether you're a top name player coming and playing for us, if you're not doing it on a regular basis and you need that rest, then you need that rest. But Lukaku, he's been given the opportunities. Unfortunately for him, what's got going against him more is he's come with this massive price tag on his head. And I guess when you're coming with that massive price tag on your head, you're expecting a lot more from your striker. And unfortunately, he's not showing that at this moment in time. And that's the only reason why I think a lot of fans are coming on to him more than they're probably saying about Timo Werner, because his guy's done it before. So look, I've got nothing against him. And I just want to let Tobago know in the comment section, nothing against Lukaku at all. I'm just disappointed that he's not performing to the best of his ability, to what I know he can perform, but he's just not showing it on the pitch at the moment.
Yeah, we have to be factual. It doesn't. If you're a big player, you're a big player. If you're good, you're good. It doesn't matter the time at which you join the game. You get 1 chance, you get 2 chances. At least you finish 1. He's been awful for us, and it's gotten worse since after, like you mentioned, DJ, after the interview and after his injury. And anybody, what I don't understand is anybody arguing that the issue is the system. This guy started well when he came back. And then he got injured, and then the interview followed. But that's, by the way, I'm not going to sit here and argue with it. And the fact that the comments, our fan base needs to stop defending Mount. At least, guess what? I'm not defending Mount. At least even if Mount doesn't score, you still get a good presence from him, good industry. You still see commitment, but you can see that he's mentally tired. That's like DJ said at the time, he wanted him to take a break from the team. Go ahead.
Prime was on my channel. Me and Prime were talking about this. I think Prime had a fantastic point where he said that when he's young and he's like the Mbappe, when they step up very, very young and they got to try and be this Messi or Neymar, after a while they're mentally drained and they don't know where they're at in life. And when he gets 25, he's probably going to turn out to be like a Theo Walcott, for all we know, because his standards are too high. That's why I try to drop his standards. I like Mount, but I say when he's shit. Like now he's been shit. He's been very, very bad. He needs to get back in form. And again, there's we can't sit here and try and fix him. That's up to Tuchel to fix him, or that's up to the board to fix him. Like we can't sit here from our screens and dictate that. But he's mentally getting drained, and over the years he's going to keep getting mentally drained until possibly he just gets worse and worse and worse. If he keeps being this prospect, the future captain, if he's going to he should be named as a normal player because he doesn't have the mentality to become like that right now. Like Reece James, he can handle this. He can handle all the pressure. Mount can't, and we can see that on the pitch.
Now, these are your thoughts. I read something, was it from Nizek himself, that he's spoken with Inter Milan about the possibility of going back to Inter. I don't think, if you ask me, I'd say that's not possible.
No.
Because they sold them because they have financial issues. Their Chinese owners had financial issues. And his salary has increased at Chelsea. So if he's going, they didn't want to increase his salary. That's one of the reasons why he agreed to leave in the first place. So going back, and he would agree to a salary cut. And more importantly, I don't think they'd be willing to pay Chelsea how much Chelsea wants. Even on loan, he's going to be a big issue for them. And he actually caused them issues in the dressing room because they're doing well. They actually have been doing well in his absence. Your thoughts, DJ?
Yeah, they have been. And look, I just want to keep reiterating it again because I know I'm seeing a lot of people in the comments saying about Lukaku that we're being a bit too harsh on him. I'm not being harsh on him at all. I want more than anything for this guy to come in and do well because we spent a lot of money on him. Okay, and I believe he can do well if he puts his mind to it when he gets the opportunities to do that. But when we're seeing 2 opportunities that he missed yesterday, and I'd say with any player, I just want to make sure I'm not showing any favourites here. any player that makes a mistake like that, when two sitters are sitting you and you can score the goals, I'd be on their cases big time. And I'd be that if it was Kai Havertz, if it was Timo Werner, if it was Mason Mount, players like that, even Ziyech, I'd be on their cases, because as far as I'm concerned, they should have done better with those chances than what they did. So this is no Lukaku agenda. I just want to make that perfectly clear to all the Chelsea fans in the comment section, Nick Blue, Tobago, everyone that's watching this. I'm not got nothing against Lukaku whatsoever. I've said this all along.
But we have to speak the truth.
But at this moment in time, he is not doing what he should be doing. And at this moment in time, does he deserve to be in the Chelsea team? No, he doesn't. Does Kai Havertz deserve to be in the Chelsea team? Yes, because he is not only is he scoring goals, but he's also doing a lot more for the team in terms of setting up others, bringing others into play, running at people. We saw what he's been doing, Kai Havertz. He's a live wire when he's at it. And, he's got more to his game. That's all, and more skills to his game than Lukaku has. That's all I'm basically saying. So I'm not knocking him. Listen, guys, listen, Kachilla, I've really got to chip now because I've got to go into a meeting, but I will catch up with you guys later.
Thank you very much. You're always welcome. Thank you very much. And it's been a great show with you in the house. I appreciate that, DJ.
Peace, everyone. Take care. Peace, Matt.
Peace, brother.
Bye.
Yes, everybody, if you're watching, please, if you haven't, make sure to go check out Matt's channel, Z-Volley. It's a new channel, up-and-coming channel, but it's growing really fast. Check out his content. Believe me, you will like it, and then subscribe if you like what you see, but I can assure you, you will like it. And also go check out CFC for him. Great channel, always objective, no clickbaits, even though he was against me today when he was on the panel, but I still love him, so go check out his channel. Nick Blue, I'm coming to you with this question. I think that's the last topic we have to round off, and I'm going to ask you the question, and I'm going to go and take care of something and come back quickly. Nick, your thoughts on Lukaku, and what do you think we can do with him?
Yeah, I was at the beginning, I was all in for Lukaku. Everyone was wanting Haaland that time. Get Haaland, but it wouldn't have worked with Haaland. Plus, the money they were asking for, and his agent asking for money, stealing money, that wasn't going to work. So we had Lukaku was the next choice. I was happy when he came in. He started well, he started very well. Then he had that whole interview that put him down a lot. That made him, made the fans go against him too much. I would say, calling him stupid names, which I was fighting with fans about Lukaku, and then he lost his confidence. He lost a lot of confidence, and he's still struggling to get it all back. He's got some back. Even yesterday when he came on, I was glad to see the Shedden singing his name at last. We're trying to make him play good now, but we have a lot of fans who still calling him silly names, which I don't like. Yeah,
no, nobody called him name here, but has it worked? Do you see signs that things will change? And he's even, there are rumors that he started talking with Inter Milan regarding the possibility of him going back there. I don't know if those are rumors, but even if those are speculations, it's not working. And what can we do to get it to work? And the argument that the system is the issue doesn't really work, because he had 2 chances yesterday or so. But go ahead, Nick.
We brought he comes on when we're losing. He had one good chance, and he wasn't far off with that header. He had that good that chance. If only that I thought I was going in. If only that goal, that ball went in, would have changed the whole game.
Exactly.
But the Lukaku, you can score. If you give him the right deliveries, he will score. Like he showed when Mason Mount did that great pass against Middlesbrough, and he scored. You have to find him. He's not that sort. He's a player. He's a number 9, traditional number 9. He ain't gonna run up and down the pitch like everyone wants. That's not his game. His game is with a partner, but I want to see more of Havertz and him together. But Tuchel very rarely does that because he plays, the different system, which doesn't suit Lukaku. That's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I wouldn't say his Chelsea days are finished yet. You know, he's still got a few games. We have a few games more. He can still prove himself, and we'll see what happens in the summer. You know, if he's going to stay, we don't know.
Yeah.
But you know, I still have confidence in him. I like him as a player. You know, when he was playing for Belgium, for Inter Milan, he was unbelievable. Yeah, so it's up to Tuchel to find the best way for him. You know, he's got to find a system to suit him as well. That's what
Yeah, I hope, honestly, I hope that he recovers. Or if it's not working, we should just let him go to where it works. It will save the club money.
Yeah.
He will also save money, because I think Tobago also made the same point the other day when he was here, because it would be best for both parties to part ways, so that part ways, so he will find where it will work for him and not waste his talent at Chelsea if the manager doesn't use his type of striker.
Yeah, it depends on Tuchel. Who's he going to want to keep and who's going out. But I think, we don't know. He's got 50-50 chance to stay or go. So, we can see what Tuchel decides in the summer. First of all, we have to, find out who our new owners are. Yeah, and you were right. Todd Bowley was at Stamford Bridge yesterday. Yeah, he was watching the game. Yeah.
Yeah, so let me quickly go through the chat and get your final thoughts so that we can round up. And I want to say thank you to all the queens. Fahim himself, please go check out Fahim channel if you haven't. And we have just 79 likes, and we had 220 people watching at the same time. We couldn't reach 100. So if you haven't, please make sure to like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Chelsea recruitment is invariably penny wise, a pound of foolish. Yes, we've spent quite a lot of money on players we didn't need, and that's a huge mistake on our part. And we're stuck with most of them because nobody wants them, given how much they earn every month. Fraser says Giroud does what Lukaku does, but much better. Yep, Giroud is a good header of the ball, but Lukaku, I don't know. As tall as he isn't that good aerially. That's concerning to me. He's literally standing like a lamppost sometimes. Yeah, he does that. That's the truth. His lack of dynamic movement is a big issue, if you ask me. And this is all of us wanted him to do well. Yeah, we wanted him to do well. Chelsea must exploit the vertical game or more. They have the striker for that. Good point, Ben, but I think we've done our best. I think he has to adapt to the team, because the team adapting to him would mean we'll have to sacrifice our identity, to accommodate him. And I really don't want that to happen. And please, if you haven't, make sure to like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And be sure not to miss the Blue Morning show for tomorrow. And you get a chance to be selected as one of the contestants to win $150 for the Roman Abramovich tribute contest. Big up, I don't know who you said who that big up is for. And Chelsea fans really need to trust Tuchel more for his doing. I trust Tuchel. I don't have an issue with Tuchel, but some people have an issue. Some people have an issue with his selection yesterday. I've read that before. And vertical play will be the key for Chelsea's future success. Possibly, I think you're right. Melissa, look, I didn't want him at Chelsea because of his play. But if you invest a lot on a striker, you need to build around him. Look, I'm not for building a team around a single individual. If you do that, the moment that individual is playing badly, the whole team suffers. That's why I prefer Tuchel's preference of building a team and not building a team around a single individual, because it's a huge risk. Let me see if there's anything else. I am a new subscriber. Why am I not put timeout for? I'm just voicing my opinion. I'm not sure did anybody here put you on timeout? Again, please, let's be a bit lenient. Everybody in the chat contributes to the view of the channel. We must recognize that. Yeah, vertical game only for Lukaku when he's on the pitch. I think that makes sense. Giroud better than Lukaku anytime, any day. And even Broya is even a better player because he's quicker, he's good on the ball, he's good aerially, and he can, he's good with his feet too. So I think Giroud, what's his name? Broya must come back and must be integrated in the team, if you ask me. Serie A tax Lukaku. Giroud is better than Lukaku. I agree with that, but some people would argue otherwise. Give us Broya, please. Thank you. You're not getting a Broya, Melissa. Sorry about that. I am done with Lukaku and Werner. I haven't given up until they leave the club. I'll keep supporting them. He doesn't want to be here. That seems to be the case. Sign Lukaku for 100 million. Arteta can help him. Yeah. Good suggestion, Frizzle. The game was good, but was not in the game. That's another thing. Tobago, can Chelsea get their 100 million back? No, it will never happen. And by the way, Tobago is a Chelsea supporter. He says, bye. Nick, how was the atmosphere and the crowd yesterday? I think the crowd did their job. The fans did their job. Nick, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, the crowd was brilliant yesterday. I told you. I don't know if you heard the crowd when I was videoing. But during the game, before the game, they were up for it. Even when we were losing 2-0, but we kept going back in the team, and Havertz eventually scored. Then, it was electric when it was 2-1. Shame we couldn't equalise. That would have, exploded. Stamford Bridge would have exploded last night if we got a draw or even made it 3-2. But the crowd they didn't go, near the end. They waited. Everyone was waiting to try and get another goal back. It was a great crowd, great atmosphere. The only thing is we lost 3-1. Now, can we do it in Madrid? Everything's possible. If we play like we can play, and we're not playing like a real Chelsea team. If we go and play like 100%, we can beat them. We can overturn it. All we have to do is win 2-0 and go extra time. So it's all to play for. It won't be easy, but nothing's done yet. Yeah.
Yeah, it won't be easy, but again, it's not the final. We could still, turn things around. Did anybody time? Was it timed out? And did anybody time out Tobago? If it happened, then somebody must have done that by mistake because he didn't say anything wrong here. I am not sure that happened, but that is, by the way, I think with that great comments from Nick, we've come to the end of the show. And I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat. I want to say thank you to Tobago and also for coming on to defend Lukaku. I want to say thank you to Melissa. Fraser, he says he's had to leave. It's lunchtime. Thank you to one of the queens of the house, Just Viola. Always nice to see you here. And everyone else in the chat, from Benny to Mikhael to Steve Chelsea. I want to say thank you to you all. And also thank you to Nick Blue. And thank you, Nick, for 2 occasions now that you've brought us 2 live pictures from Stamford Bridge, the day of the protest and the day of the game. Nick, I cannot appreciate you enough. But hopefully I'll find a way to pay you back for all you've done for this channel.
I like doing it, Coach. Yeah, it's good. I like doing it. I'm getting better slowly. You can see I'm getting better.
You're good at it. You're good at it, really. You're good at it. Thank you very much. And Mikhail says, big up, Nick Blue and Kachila. Thank you very much. Big up to you. And Elijah Kigozi, but Chelsea will win the next game. I hope we do. And Elijah, if you haven't, please do subscribe to the channel and also like the video. And mods needs to be trained. I think I agree. I don't know if Tobago was timed out. Then somebody must have timed him out mistakenly. So with that, we've come to the end of the show. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow for another Blue Morning show. God bless us all and bye.